Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Shake it, but get pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eye. The Bible guy. He reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy. He turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy. Watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Howdy, folks. Bible Guy here, coming at you live from Northeast Texas. It is, what is it? Tuesday, March 24th. And hopefully we'll get some honest callers who want to comment and give me a good reason why we should think Jesus is the Messiah. I'm not convinced that he is. Coolbury says there's nothing that the Bible can teach because contradictions cannot be made God cannot lie. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, if God can't lie, then the Bible can't be his word, right? I agree. So absolutely, Repco. So let's go. Absolutely, let's go. Topher the Great says, honest Christians, good luck. Hey, we have a couple who come on here and they're honest and good interlocutors. So let's just cross our fingers and pray to Peggy. But anyways, also a little notice that the Monday after Easter, so normally we are live on Saturdays, Sundays, off on Mondays, and then on Tuesday again. But the Monday after Easter will be live, and the Tuesday after Easter we won't be. So I'm shifting the live day from Tuesday to Monday that week. Why, you ask? Quite simple. It's because that's when the update for Starfield drops. And so, and quite simply, I just want to play it that day. That's why. It's great when you're your own boss. You can set your hours. It's fantastic. I love it. I went to my boss today, me in the mirror, and said, "Boss, can I have the 7th of April off?" And I said, "Yes." And you're doing such a great job. Here's a raise. Sadly, I cannot give myself a raise. Well, not with money, at least. Sweet tea, because I'm from Texas. Beth races, haha. Thanks for the honesty. Yeah. Oh man. All right. We got our first guest for today's live, Luke Wiggins. Luke, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we can get to the conversation. Luke, are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 23.
And what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And are you a believer in Jesus as the Messiah?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I'm not convinced that Jesus was the Messiah. Could you give me any good reason why I should think that?
Yeah. Do you take? What's your stance? Are you like a Jew?
No, I'm an atheist.
Oh, you're an atheist. Okay. So you don't believe that when let's define Messiah real quick. To me, that means like the prophesied Son of Man coming down to die for our sins. Correct?
Well, Son of Man part I might take issue with, but yes, he is the prophesied anointed one of Israel, the future foretold king of the Hebrew Bible.
Yeah, and so I think the easiest place to go would just be Isaiah 53, and you look at the prophecies in Isaiah 53, and it lines up almost perfectly with what you see with Jesus, like his crucifixion. I think that's pretty strong evidence by itself.
Well, is Isaiah 53 the only chapter of Isaiah you've read?
No.
Have you read any of the chapters Isaiah 40 through 52?
I mean, I've read the whole Bible. I mean, I don't read it as much as I should, or know as much about it as I should. But what's your contention?
So the servant mentioned in Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53 is not the first time they're mentioned, correct?
Nope. Well, that is correct, yes.
Well, no, it's not correct. I mean, it's not. Well, wait, are you mean by correct that it's not the first time they appear in Isaiah 53, Isaiah, or correct as in this is the first time they are appearing in Isaiah?
I believe there's an earlier time.
Correct. Okay. And who does the author of this section of the book of Isaiah identify the servant as repeatedly?
It would be the Son of Man, correct?
No. Repeatedly, time after time after time, the author of this section of Isaiah identifies the servant as Israel.
Well, it would be son of Israel.
No, not son
Like
of
he's
Israel. Just
Israel, like he was an Israelite.
no, it doesn't say son of Israel. Just Israel. You are my servant Israel, whom I have chosen. The servant is Israel, specifically the righteous remnant of Israel.
Yeah, but so the idea of Jesus is Jesus came in and stood in place, like he took our place, like for our sins, and he paid the price for our sins. So instead of us being punished for our sins, he came in and took our place for the punishment. So it wouldn't be out of bounds to say that to like be referring to Israel and then talking about Israel being crucified and going into all the details describing Jesus' crucifixion.
There's nothing about crucifixion in Isaiah 53.
Yeah, sure there is.
No, there's not.
There's talk about piercing.
There is no piercing
his hands and feet, and
there is no piercing in Isaiah 53.
Yeah.
Instead, the word mecholal, which is used in Isaiah 53, doesn't mean to pierce. It just means to wound. He was wounded for our transgressions. Also, notice what the word is before wounded. He was wounded for our because of our transgressions. And when you use the word like words like was, what is that indicating from the perspective of the author?
Well, the author would be, in this case, God, so he wouldn't really be bound by temporal logic, so he wouldn't really have to, like, the way he sees it, he's viewing
that would need to be demonstrated, but...
Well, hear me out.
I know the theology.
The way he's... Well,
I know the theology, but until you can demonstrate that God is the author, that's just not an acceptable answer. You just have to say the prophet responsible for the section of Isaiah as the author. You'd have to first demonstrate theistic authorship before you can assert it.
So you're saying that the person that they're talking about already came?
Already suffered, yes. Well, not a person, it's multiple people, plural. The text even in Isaiah 53 refers to the suffering servant as a them in the plural at one point.
Would you accept me taking it the route of trying to prove the divinity of Christ? Would you accept that as proving that he was the Messiah?
No, that wouldn't prove he was the Messiah. It would just prove that he was divine. There are lots of divine beings in the Bible. Michael is divine. Gabriel is divine. None of them are the Messiah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not gonna be the best to tackle this topic. I kind of misunderstood what you were getting at. I thought you were an atheist trying to say that Jesus isn't God, and that's what I was coming up to debate. So I'm fine with just moving on and saying that you won this one.
I don't know why it is that Christians conflate the incarnation with Jesus being the Messiah. Y'all do know those are two separate things, correct? Like there are Christians who believe that Jesus was the Messiah, but they deny that he was God.
Yeah, no, I know, but like most Christians, there aren't any Christians who deny that Jesus is God. By that would just fall outside of the definition of Christian.
Nope, not on this channel.
There are Jews who believe that Jesus.
On this channel,
What do you mean not on this channel?
On this channel, the Bible Guy channel, all that is required of someone to be a Christian is they must believe that Jesus was the Christ and the Son of God, and that's it.
What would be the Christ?
The anointed one, the Messiah.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Christ is a synonym for Messiah.
Okay, so Yeah, but if you're like, you can use your own proprietary definition for Christian, but like the pejorative definition for Christian would be someone who holds to Jesus, who holds to the Nicene Creed.
Pejorative. That's just the orthodox. That's just the orthodox definition. But like, if you're not a Christian, what is considered orthodox and what is considered heresy is completely irrelevant.
Well, that's not Orthodox specific. That's across all most
Orthodox
denominations.
Orthodox lowercase o, not Orthodox uppercase o.
No, you're not talking about the. Okay. Well, yeah, sure. But I think, if you have your own proprietary definition, that's fine. But I don't think I don't think the like, if we were to look it up, I don't think the definition would include people who don't hold to the Nicene Creed as Christian.
It depends on who you ask. If you ask a Christian source, like if you ask an Orthodox Christian source, then sure. But if you would ask like a Jehovah's Witness, what is a Christian? They're not going to say you have to hold to the Nicene Creed. So that's just completely relative. I have to look at the thing that binds all Christians together. The one thing that all Christians have in common, and that would be just that Jesus, the confession that Peter made in Matthew 16. That Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God.
But when you say that, you use the word Christian with your own like proprietary definition. But that it would just be us disagreeing on a definition, which doesn't really get us anywhere.
Yeah. But anyways, there are tons of Christians who don't believe in deity. So the topic at hand is only whether or not Jesus is the long-awaited Messiah of Israel.
Yeah. Okay. See. Yeah. I'm just not prepared to debate that topic. I was misunderstood. That's my bad.
Alrighty then. Well, have a good day, Luke.
All right. Yeah, we go on.
Oop, my bad. I meant to just to DFW request backup. I meant to exit off of Luke, but they exited off before I got to exit them off, so I accidentally declined you. So just request back again because you were next. There we go. And give me a second so I can write down something real quick. Let's see. Bible guy clips. Where are we at? Just give me a second. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, bud. Question number 1: are you at least 18?
Yes, I am.
And question number 2: are you? What pronouns do you go by?
I'm just a dude.
Dude's not a pronoun. I know lots of people. I know lots of I call my sister dude. Call my my cousins dude.
I'm a man. A breathing soul.
That's your gender. So what's your pronouns?
Pronouns is breathing soul, I guess.
Those are nouns and adjectives. What's your pronoun you use?
Can you give me some examples?
He, him, she, her, they, them.
He, him.
All right. And question number 3: are you a Christian who believes Jesus was the Messiah?
No.
Okay, I'm only accepting people who believe Jesus was the Messiah. Thank you for coming up.
Well, I was given a counter argument just as a devil's advocate. I was mentioning that there was something in the Bible, and there was a woman who wrote a famous book called "The Woman with the."
I don't want devil's advocate. I just want to talk to people who do believe positively that Jesus was Messiah. But thank you for coming up, DFW. All right. I guess we'll bring up Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ.
All right. So, what does the Messiah mean?
1 second. Before we get to the conversation, I have to ask you 3 preliminary questions. Then we can have the conversation. So, question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
He, him, the mentally stable pronouns that coincide with my sex.
Wow. No one gave a shit about the rest of that. Anyways, question number 3: do you think Jesus was the Messiah?
Said what?
Do you think Jesus is the Messiah?
Yes.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy, and when I say Messiah, I mean the long-awaited, prophesied, anointed King of Israel.
All right, so he wasn't the king. Are you sure that's what the word Messiah means?
Yes, because that's what the Old Testament says he will be, a king. The Messiah is a king. That's why King David was also called a Messiah, as was King Saul, and even King Cyrus was called Messiah in the Hebrew Bible. It comes from the Hebrew Mashiach, which means anointed.
All right, so he's the anointed one, which means
King of Israel.
Hold on,
You don't
so
know?
they say he's going to be the king, but he's not. Maybe he would have become king if he didn't die.
Maybe, but if he's not king, then he's not the Messiah.
When they say king, they mean like he's the king of kings, like as in he's God, like above all else.
That's a nice claim, but he's not a king in any like
Not a
demonstrable
king
way.
like a ruler king.
Well, the Hebrew Bible seems to insinuate that the Messiah will be that. His reign will be from one end of the earth to the other. He will bring forth peace to the world. He will destroy Israel's enemies. None of that happens under Jesus, though. He can't be the Messiah, therefore. Don't talk to the comment section. Talk to me
Why can't I talk to both?
because it's rude. Talk to me.
All right. All right. So Jesus is the Messiah. I don't know. I haven't like looked into that. Just always heard he was the Messiah.
That's like the central part of your religion, dude. Literally,
Hey,
what is
Saint Brianna, I can't comment, so
don't talk to Saint Brianna. You're talking to me. Anyways, so like literally, what is the opening of the New Testament? What does it say? The very first words.
I don't know. I haven't read the New Testament yet.
You haven't read the New Testament? What the heck? Why
No,
are
I'm
you
on Nehemiah right now.
Why are you a Christian? Actually, I don't want to hear about you're a Christian. The opening
I
of
was
the New
raised a
Testament.
Christian.
The opening of the New Testament says, the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. That's the idea that Jesus is the Christ / Messiah. Those are synonymous terms. Is the central claim of the Christian faith.
I thought the claim of the Christian faith was that he died on the cross, made the ultimate sacrifice, so if we accept him as our Savior, we'll go to heaven.
Because he's the Messiah.
All right, so can you give me the exact definition of the Messiah?
I already have. The long-awaited, long-prophesied, anointed one of Israel.
All right, so what are some prophecies that said Jesus would come as king?
Well, none about Jesus. There are prophecies about the Messiah in the Old Testament. The problem is just that Jesus doesn't fulfill any of them. That's why he's not the Messiah.
All right, so when people say Jesus is the Messiah, what could they be referring to?
That's what they're referring to. They just aren't educated enough on the topic. Maybe before
I'm not sure.
Maybe before you continue calling yourself a Christian, maybe you need to read the New Testament and then test its claims.
Well, I am a Christian. Because I don't know everything about the Bible, it doesn't mean I'm not a Christian. I'm a Christian because of the following. I know Christ died on the cross. I believe in the Holy Trinity. Accepted him as my Savior. It's that simple. Actually, in Romans, it says,
I don't care.
whoever confesses with thy mouth and believes in thy heart, they will be saved.
This isn't a place for you to preach. No one cares. This is if I wanted to hear
You
preaching,
care about the Bible, so we're talking about the Bible.
No, you can talk about the Bible without preaching. If I wanted to hear
Aren't
preaching,
you preaching to me?
If I wanted to hear preaching, I'd go to church. I don't go to church because I don't believe and because I don't want to hear preaching. And also, people my people in my comment section, some people get a bit traumatized from preaching. So none of that bullshit. You can talk about the Bible, and no, I haven't preached once. You can talk about the Bible without preaching. So it looks like you might not be educated enough on this topic to have this conversation. So I think I'm just going to move on to Jordan.
All right. What's the definition of preach?
Anyways, to proclaim theology and a dogma. There you go. All right. Gee whiz. What's today's guess? All right, Jordan. I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we can get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And then question number 3: do you think Jesus was the Messiah?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't think Jesus was the Messiah. Can you give me any good reason why I should think he is?
Yeah, so I was just looking at various rabbinic sources that claim that Isaiah 53 is a messianic prophecy. We have
Oh yeah, we don't care
the
about
Targum
that.
Jonathan. We have the Babylonian Talmud.
Yeah, we don't care about that.
We
don't care about later Jewish tradition. We only care about what did the author of Isaiah themselves write. Jewish tradition from hundreds of years later is as useful to me as Christian tradition on the New Testament from hundreds of years later. Like you do realize.
So you don't care about rabbinic opinion?
I don't
at all.
I don't care about rabbinic opinion at all. The only time I care about what the rabbis might say is if it correlates with what's actually written in the Hebrew Bible. But if it's just a tradition, like Judaism, like Christianity, is a dynamic religion. It's not static. It undergoes change, and that includes like change in the interpretation of scripture. When prophecy fails, Jewish people have 2 options. They can either acknowledge that prophecy has failed and thus, throw out the book of prophecy, or they can renegotiate with the Bible and reinterpret it in order to make a prophecy more relevant to their time period. So the question really is there any reason from Isaiah itself to believe that Jesus was the Messiah?
Well, I think it's helpful to read were you even aware that the rabbis think they were messianic? Like, did you even know that they
Yep.
all thought it was messianic?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
good. Because I think it's pretty clear when you read Isaiah. Huh?
Sure, in Sanhedrin, they give him a lot of names. They call him Menachem. They call him, what are the names they call him? They call him Menachem, Shiloh, Yinon, Hanina, and then lastly, Mitzorah, Melumad, the leper scholar, and then they cite Isaiah 53. But, like, we don't care what rabbis from, like, later had to say. Rabbis can be wrong, too, just like Christians from centuries after the New Testament existed can get the New Testament wrong.
Well, I think it's useful, just to have more witnesses on my team, but that's fine. I mean, I think it's pretty clear because when you look at, because the argument I hear from you guys most of the time is that it's referring to Israel or Jacob, right? Because in the previous passages, it always identifies the servant as Jacob or
every time,
or Israel, right?
yes.
But then,
miraculously, the fact that it refers to the suffering of the servant in past tense, and it also refers to the servant as a them in the plural in Isaiah 53.
Oh, wait, you think it's plural in Isaiah 53?
At one point, and in verse 8, it ends with a plural pronoun.
I don't see plural anywhere.
Are you reading the Hebrew or
he was pierced?
You're reading the English,
right?
I see.
He was despised.
My Bible says they were afflicted. Mi pesha ami nega lamo. What does lamo mean?
So
here. Let's do this a little test real quick. Can you turn to Psalm chapter 2 for me? I want to show you something.
I guess.
It's important. You'll see why it's relevant. And can you read verse 4?
The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them.
And it says them in your Bible, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want you to look at the Hebrew of this verse. Yoshev Bashemayim Yitzchak. He who sits in the heavens laughs. Adonai Yilag Lamo. the Lord mocks, and the word for them is this word right here. I have highlighted on the screen. It's the word lamo, spelled Lamed Mem Vav, lamo. Now, if we turn to Psalm 99. And read verse 7 to us in your translation.
Psalm 99. You should just go to Isaiah 53 on your
We'll get there.
blue letter.
We'll get there next. I don't care about what the English here
Psalm-
says. I care about what the Hebrew says. Because the
What was
English
Psalm 99:7?
Yeah, 99 verse 7. I'm just showing that
He
even in your
spoke to them
translation,
from the
it'll get
pillar.
it right. It'll get this. I'm just pointing out the fact that even in your Bible, they will rightly translate the word lamo correctly in these verses, but only in Isaiah 53 will they correctly translate it. So Psalm 99 verse 7.
There isn't even a concordance entry for that. If you click on it, look at the
I know.
look at the
I have a dictionary for it. I can show you the source.
Well, I don't see how it's relevant, because if you were to just go to Isaiah 53, you'd see it's
we'll get
singular
there.
the whole time.
We'll get there in a second, bud. What is Psalm 99 verse 7 say in your Bible?
He spoke to them from the pillar of cloud. They kept his statutes and the decrees he gave them.
And the word for them in the Hebrew, if I look at the Hebrew, it says, "In his statutes he gave him vechok natan." And notice what the word here again is. It's lamo. So would you agree that lamo?
Okay, why don't you scroll down?
Means
there's not even an entry yet for it.
I don't rely on that. I have my own. I have a dictionary for this. I'll show you the dictionary entry. You're just depending upon the Strong's Concordance. I don't depend upon the Strong's Concordance, but I can show you a Jewish dictionary for what lamo is. But we'll get to that in a second. So you acknowledge that, at least in your Bible here, lamo is being translated both instances as them, correct?
I guess. I don't know. I'll take your word for it if you want to get to the point.
They just want to rush. They just want to rush. They're not interested in
Well, I'm looking at Isaiah 53:8 right now
right.
in the interlinear on Blue Letter Bible, and it doesn't say them there.
The interlinear. Anyways, mi pesha ami nega lamo. Mi pesha means because of the transgression. Ami, of my people. Nega, the affliction, was lamo. And what does lamo mean?
I have no idea. There's no entry for it.
Oh God. Okay, so
where did you get the definition for lamo?
Yeah. Let's take a look. I got a dictionary here. Go to Isaiah 53. This is from an official Jewish source. If I click on lamo, let's see. From the Klein Dictionary, inflected personal pronoun meaning to them.
I can't see it.
Poetically. Oh, here, let me just.
I'm on Blue Bible Hub right now. It says
inflected
at, for, to, upon.
Inflected.
At, for, upon.
That would be just the word lamed. Just the word lamed. The letter lamed means to. Al means upon, but lamo, inflected personal pronoun meaning to them, poetically. It serves the same function as lahem. To him in Hebrew would be lo, lamed vav. Lamo means to them. So I got an official Jewish dictionary here, and also every other time that lamo occurs in your Bible, it also gets translated to them. For some reason, only in Isaiah 53 does it get translated as him.
No, it doesn't.
Sure, it does.
Oh yeah, okay. So you're saying Isaiah 53:8? I mean, it's. I mean, bro, like this is such a side quest.
It's not a side quest.
Just look at any translation of the Hebrew.
Oh, okay. Any translation? All right, let's see.
Well, I would say go to Bible Hub and just look at them. Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Why don't you go to Bible Hub and just scroll down Isaiah?
Wait,
Isaiah 53:5 where it says he was.
You said
Do you think it is they?
Wait. You said any translation. Them. It can be them or they, depending on context. So I'm going to choose a translation.
Well, I don't know. You might have some weird one.
Isaiah chapter. Let's see.
Go to
53
verse 5,
53. Well, why we read verse 5? Verse 5 doesn't
please,
have the word.
because
Verse
that's
5
the one
doesn't have.
that's obviously talking
Ver,
about Jesus.
verse 5 doesn't have the word
Yeah, it
lamo
says
in it.
he. Verse 5, it says he.
Yeah, and doesn't have the word lamo in it. We're talking about verse 8.
It's singular.
Stay on topic. You
Well, you're
guys, Christian-
talking about Lamo. I don't know why. I was talking about Isaiah 53, and then you
I have
pivoted.
ADHD. I have ADHD, and I'm able to stay on topic better than you are. It's crazy. From imprisonment and from judgment he is taken.
The topic is Isaiah
and
53,
his generation,
not Lamo.
who shall tell? For he was cut off from the land of the living because of the transgression of my people. A plague befell them. Interesting. I got another Bible over
Yeah,
here.
look at verse 5, bro. It says singular, he.
I'm aware.
Look at verses 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm aware of
It's
what
all
verse.
singular.
I'm aware of what verse 5 says. I need you.
Okay, well there you go. That's
we're on
Jesus.
verse. No, it's not, because is Jesus a plural? Is Jesus okay? Here. Let me. Can you refer to a plural
4,
people?
5, 6, 7 is
Can
not
you-
plural, bro.
Can you refer to a plural of people in the singular in Hebrew? Can you do that?
Well, I mean, verse 8 is talking about the transgression of my people, right? So it's changing. It's not talking about the servant anymore.
Can you refer to a plural people in the singular in Hebrew?
No.
No. All right. Can you turn to Exodus chapter 4?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Why are you asking? I mean, why are you pivoting? Like, it's so obviously singular.
I'm not pivoting.
Right?
I don't think. Don't use debate terms you don't know the meaning of.
Just
Don't use debate terms you
you
don't know
asked
the
me
meaning of.
to
Jordan.
prove that Jesus is.
So if you won't do it, I'll just do it for you because you're too much of a coward. So Exodus chapter 4. This isn't a pivot, by the way. You keep pointing out that Isaiah 53 uses the word he and him, and so I asked you in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Can you refer to a collective in the singular? And you made the claim that no, you cannot. So I'm staying on topic, and I'm demonstrating.
Well, I said I don't know.
Okay. Well, no. Then you said no. So now we're gonna see that you're actually wrong here. And we have here in the book of Exodus, God talking to Moses, saying, "And the Lord said to Moses, when you go back to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders that I put in your power. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go." So you acknowledge first and foremost that people are plural, right?
Sure. Yeah. How is this relevant?
Then you shall say to Pharaoh, "Thus says the Lord, Israel is my firstborn son. I said to you, let my son go that he may serve me, but you refused to let him go. Now I will kill your firstborn son." Also, stop asking how it's relevant. It's obviously relevant. You're just too impatient. So, in this passage, is the people of Israel collectively referred to in the singular as a he?
Sure.
All right, let's see if we can find any other examples of this, just so we can really drive this home. Hosea 11, verse 1. When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. Is this referring to the
Is it
nation of
always
Israel?
plural then? Like, are singular pronouns non-existent then, or like how would you,
No,
if you wanted
no,
to
in
communicate a
the
singular
se-
pronoun, how would you do that?
I'm not saying that. You need
Is
to
it
listen.
impossible then?
You need to listen because you're not understanding what I'm saying. In the Hebrew language, you can refer to a singular person using singular pronouns. You can also refer to a collective using singular pronouns. However, what you cannot do in Hebrew is refer to a singular person using plural pronouns, because you can collectivize a group of people, but you can't pluralize a singular individual.
Well, that's debatable because Elohim is
not.
plural.
Actually, it's actually a concretized.
And they use that all the time for singular.
Actually, it's a concretized abstract plural. You know what that means?
No.
So, for example, you acknowledge that Daniel is only one person, right? He's not more than one person.
Yeah.
And yet, in Daniel chapter 9, verse 23, the angel refers to Daniel as being most desirable. And the word for desirable there is chamudot, which is in the plural. But it's not really the plural. It's actually what's called concretized abstract plural. A concretized abstract plural is when you take, let's say, you take a singular word. Let's take, for example, the word beast, behama. The plural of behama is behamoth. That's the plural. But also, you can take plurals and you can abstract them. So they no longer refer to concrete plurals, but rather they refer to concepts. So behemoth can refer not only to beasts in the plural, but can refer to the concept of beastliness. And when you find a particular individual creature or entity or individual who encapsulates what it means to be this concept, you can then concretize that abstract plural in them, make it concrete, firm it in them. So you can say, like, for example, if there's a beast who's the most beast that there's ever been a beast, then you can call that singular individual behemoth, which is plural, which, by the way, for anyone who already caught on to that, that's just the name for the creature behemoth in the book of Job. That's a concretized abstract plural, but it's referring to a singular individual. That's not the same as using plural pronouns to refer to a singular individual.
Okay, can I just clarify here? So, when I read Isaiah 53, in every single translation, it says, he grew up, he was despised, he took up our pain, he was pierced for our transgressions. Every single translation says that, but you're saying
not pierced.
What
not
you're
pierced.
saying actually is that every single translation is wrong, and you're actually right. And
No,
all of
actually,
the rabbis were wrong.
No,
all of the rabbis are
actually,
wrong.
no,
Every single
Jordan.
translation is wrong.
Actually, no, Jordan. Your claim that all translations say this is wrong. You've only read Christian Bible.
Find a translation that does plural.
I already showed you one. Do I need to bring it up again?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Here,
for verses 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do that.
Why would those verses have plural in them? The word lamo doesn't occur in those verses. Are you having a hard time
because
keeping
that's
up
the
with
verses we're talking about? We're not talking about verse 8. Verse 8 ends talking about his people.
Jordan, we are talking about Isaiah 53 as a whole. We're not focusing on only particular verses. We're taking the entire chapter into consideration. What I don't think you're following.
Focusing on the end of one verse, not the whole chapter.
Because the end of this one verse demonstrates that the servant of Isaiah 53 is not a singular individual, because as we have already demonstrated.
So then every translation is wrong.
Not every No.
That's what you're saying.
Jordan, can you? Okay, Jordan, I want you to take the earwax out of your ears, and I want you to actually listen to what's being said instead of what you want to hear. Okay, Jordan, yes or no? Is my claim that every pronoun in the book of Isaiah chapter 53 is in the plural? Is that my claim?
It sounds like it, yeah. That sounds like your claim.
Then you're not listening. You're not listening. That's the problem, Jordan.
Okay, so you think verses 2, 3, 4, 5.
How can you have a conversation with someone if you're not listening to what they're saying?
Well, so then we agree it's singular then. Great. We agree. That's fantastic.
Do we agree that verse 8 is not in the singular?
Yeah, that at the end of verse 8, it's talking about his people. So yeah, of course that's a plural there specifically. It says the transgression of my people, right? So of course, plural there, but the rest of it.
Because of this transgression of my people, they were afflicted. They were afflicted, as in the suffering servant.
That's fine.
Now, Jordan, can you refer to a
group
of people?
What about the rest of the chapter?
I'm addressing that right now, Jordan. Do you agree with me that according to the Bible, you can use singular pronouns to refer to a collective?
You could, but then every single translation would be wrong. So just admit you think every translation is wrong, and all of the rabbis are wrong. Just admit that. The only plural, then the translation.
You need to stop strawmanning me, Jordan. It's not very good faith.
Plural, then
it's not very good faith of you, Jordan. When your Bible translation translates words like "lo," for example, to mean "to him," which is singular, that's accurate. The only place where your Bible is translating it incorrectly is in verse 8. I've never made the claim that these other verses and their pronouns are translating correctly. Although your translation does say he was pierced for our transgressions, and that is inaccurate. It's not pierced, it's simply wounded. Mecholal is the word there, not dikar, which means to pierce. So that would be wrong. But again, if you can refer to a collective in the singular, then singular pronouns being used for Isaiah 53, not a problem for this being the nation of Israel, or at least the righteous remnant of Israel. Now,
Okay, so
the same suffering individual is referred to also in the plural in the same chapter.
So you read this, you read Isaiah 53, and you think it's describing a group of people, even though it says he.
Yes, you're
assuming.
Jordan, it's not an assumption, Jordan. I've actually read.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I've read Deutero Isaiah. Have you?
I don't know. Why is that relevant?
Isaiah chapters 40 through 56. Deutero Isaiah. You read it?
Yeah.
And does the author explicitly time after time after time identify the servant as Israel specifically?
He does before Isaiah 53, and then in Isaiah 53 he doesn't.
Wow. So literally
in Isaiah 53 he stops saying
and like at least 6 times in multiple chapters leading up to Isaiah 53, the author repeatedly says that the servant is Israel, and suddenly I'm supposed to randomly, for some reason, believe that suddenly it's not Israel anymore? Can you give me a good reason?
Random. I mean, it's rabbis agree with that. Messianic Jews agree with that. A lot of people agree with that. It's pretty obvious.
Again, well, the consensus of scholarship would not agree with that, but that's irrespective of the point.
Oh,
I don't and I've already told you, Jordan, we don't give a shit what later rabbis or later Christian.
Maybe that's why you're so dumb. Maybe you should give a shit. Maybe
Jordan. Unlike you, I'm aware of the fact
you should start
that Jordan. Hey, Jordan, is Judaism static or dynamic?
Dynamic, I guess.
Okay, do you agree with everything that the rabbis have to say?
No.
Don't fucking pretend like they're like the ultimate authority for you. You also agree.
Well, it just shows how
you also agree that the rabbis can interpret the Bible wrong. So you pointing to them and saying, "Look, they say it's about the Messiah." Well, guess what?
Can you be
also
wrong?
Just wrong. I could be wrong, but you'd have to give me a good reason. Not just arguments from authority that you don't even really believe in.
You think should I believe you over the rabbis, and should I believe you over the Bible, and should I believe you over the Christian scholars?
No, you should believe what the author of the book of Deutero Isaiah says. But you don't.
According to you, right? According to your opinion.
According to the author. It's not my opinion. It is a fact.
How do we know what the author said?
Time after time.
If it's so obvious.
Jordan, I said Judaism as a religion is dynamic. Jesus fucking Christ, Jordan.
Well, apparently not. The author said what he said. Everybody knows what he meant.
Jordan, is the author of Deutero Isaiah Judaism?
Is the sky blue? Is fire hot? Like, what are we doing?
You're implying that the author, by giving me those examples, because yes, the sky is blue and fire is hot, you're basically saying, yes, the author of Deutero Isaiah is Judaism, the religion. No, he's not. He's a person who lived at a particular time in history. When we say that Judaism is dynamic, what we mean is that the religion changes over time. Not what did this one individual write at this one time in history. You do recognize the difference, don't you? You're making yourself look like a jackass, Jordan.
Bro, when you read the verse, he was pierced for our trans.
Can I get some?
He was crushed.
Can I get some ones in the comment section if you think Jordan's being a jackass and demonstrating that he's an idiot?
Hey,
doesn't
Colt,
like to listen. Anyways.
Hey, Colt, do you agree with me?
Jordan, is there? Should I keep?
Hey,
why
Colt,
should I keep,
do you agree
Jordan,
with everything I said?
Jordan, why should I keep you up? Give me a good reason why I should keep you up if you're gonna act like this.
You talk to morons all day, bro. So
I know I'm talking to one right now.
No, bro,
That's
you know
Jordan.
I'm smart. Come on.
This is Jordan.
You literally talk to the dumbest people all day, bro.
I know. I'm talking to one right now, Jordan. You've demonstrated that you.
Nah, you know
No, you're not smart, Jordan. I'm sorry. You're not smart. What a wine bag. Everyone give me some L's in the comment section for Jordan for being such a wine bag. He couldn't listen. He repeatedly straw-mailed me. This is the problem with being so dogmatically bound to a position. You are incapable of hearing what other people say, taking in new information, and processing it. Jordan's not capable of learning new things. Jordan sucks ass. Don't be like Jordan. Here, let me put my notes here. Jordan can't listen. Straw man. Straw man. All right. I guess next we'll bring up Triple JS. And then we'll bring up Next Level Ministries after that. Triple JS, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions. Then we can get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And then, do you believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Yes.
All right. Triple JS, all that I ask is that you actually, when I talk, that you listen to what I say, you take in the information and you process it, and I'll do the same for you. So, Triple JS.
Fair enough.
I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I don't think Jesus was the Messiah. Can you give me a good reason why I should believe he is the Messiah?
Yeah, so are we talking about the Jesus in the New Testament? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the New Testament Jesus, he's called the Christ, yeah?
Yep, he is called that.
Yeah. And so, if we're talking about that Jesus, the character in the New Testament called the Christ, and Christ and Messiah mean about the same thing, yeah?
Yeah, I'm not asking whether or not
So
so to be clear, I'm not asking whether or not Jesus was called the Messiah. I want to know whether or not he actually was in reality the Messiah.
so you believe there is a Messiah then, yeah? It's not
No.
not like a story?
I don't think there is a Messiah. But if someone came along and fulfilled prophecies about the Messiah in the Old Testament, then I would have to believe there is a Messiah.
Yeah, so if you don't believe there's a Messiah, we're talking about the stories of the Messiah, yeah? Like the story?
Can you repeat back to me what I just said?
Yeah. You said if someone fulfilled prophecies of the Messiah, they'd be the Messiah, yeah?
Yeah, and then I would believe that there was a Messiah.
Yeah, so we're talking about the stories of the Messiah, the prophecies of the stories, yeah?
Prophecies aren't stories. Prophecies are declarations about the future.
Ah, so you think they're real then?
Prophecies do exist in the Hebrew Bible. Like there are words written from Hebrew speaking people who claim to be prophets, and they made predictions about the future. Those declarations exist. They exist. I don't think they actually come from a God. But if someone fulfilled those prophecies, I would have to think that they came from God.
Right. So you're looking at a piece of story that says a Messiah will do blank, and then another piece of a story that says
not a story.
This is the Messiah.
Triple JS, not a story. Prophecies aren't stories.
Oh, so you think it's real? It's not a story. It's real.
I don't think you know what the word story means. Do you know what stories are? Stories have
like either fiction. It's either fiction or fact, mate.
Story and fiction aren't synonymous. I can tell you stories about things that are factual.
Yeah, but like it's either fiction or fact, right?
A story is a narrative that has like a plot.
Yeah.
It has characters, people, persons. The prophecies of the Hebrew Bible aren't stories; they're declarations. Sometimes those prophecies are inside stories. Sometimes they're not. Like there are no stories in Isaiah or Second Isaiah, which we've talked about ad nauseum tonight. There's no stories in that section of the book of Isaiah, but there are prophecies.
Well, here's how I see it: is like the Old Testament is fiction; it's about a coming Messiah. And Haiku Rose says the New Testament is about fiction, And so if they're both fiction, you just take what the fiction
Wait a
says.
minute. Wait, oh, you son of a bitch. Yeah, okay.
Love you, Dalton.
Oh my god, guys, this is my friend Haiku. Man, that was an actual good troll. Holy shit.
You're doing a good work. Love you, dude. Have a good one.
Love you, and also fuck you, dude. I love you. Guys, everyone give a W to Haiku in the comment section. Haiku actually, I met him 2 years ago around in November, and he donated a bunch of books to us. So huge W. I actually got like a giant a Bible encyclopedia and my Greek grammar book I got from him, as long as also I got this really cool book from Haiku. It's so funny. I got this really cool book called Manners and Customs of Bible Time of Bible Times. It's got lots of pictures, which someone like me, I love pictures, but it's just honestly, it's just a really good book. It tells you a lot about the culture of ancient Israelites and Jewish people. Fantastic book, fantastic man. Love Haiku. Oh man, I'll make sure to clip that later. Haiku. All right. Okay, we're gonna bring up. Let me make sure I don't have any. I'm gonna read some super chats, and then we're gonna bring up Next Level Ministries.
Let's see. Herbie Shine with the $10. This thing Bible guy started his show earlier than advertised again. He gives another 10,000 chances. Then I'm
I can't help it, Herbie. I am very impatient. I was like, okay, because especially now, I finally fixed my sleep schedule to where instead of waking up at 3 in the afternoon and going to bed at 6 a.m., I'm now waking up at 9 a.m., 8 to 9 a.m., and going to bed at night now. So I fixed my sleep schedule. So that means that unlike before when I would wake up and then I would hurry up and get ready and then it'd be time to start the show. Now I wake up and the show doesn't start for hours on end. And so I get a little bit impatient now. But Herbie, thank you for the $10, bud.
And at Mrs. Dog 9666 with the $5. Guest is a Christian because it upholds his privileged position in society. Spineless loser with no true beliefs.
You talking about the person who didn't read their New Testament at all, or Jordan? Because that could apply. Because I feel like the guest before Jordan was. I feel like he just maybe if he learns more and reads more, he'll free himself from the fetters of his religion. But Jordan is just like a loser, 100%. And then
Johnny V with the $10. Yesterday, Darth Dawkins ran away from me. He wouldn't answer the preliminary questions, and my co-host kept muting him because he kept trying to get around the questions, so Darth cried and ran.
Hell yeah, that's another good thing about the preliminary questions. By the way, everyone, go check out Johnny B on TikTok. Make sure you, I'm pretty sure that this is also his profile picture on TikTok. He does great shows. If you like my shows, you'll like Johnny B's. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Anyways, yeah, Darth Dawkins is also a loser. He hates me, hates my guts. I think maybe he was one of the first people who asked me if I was Tom Rabbit. Because he hates Tom Rabbit. All right, we're gonna bring up Next Level Ministries. I'm gonna ask you the 3 preliminary questions, and then we can get to the conversation. Next level. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3: do you believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I'm not convinced that Jesus was the Messiah. Do you have any good reasons why I should believe that?
Well, Dalton, the Bible guy, I think that you're very, very intelligent. I've been listening to the conversation, and you definitely know your stuff. But I do think that one of the clearest references, I mean, there are others, but is Isaiah 53. And so you made some very good points about Isaiah 53. I do have a question for you. Um, so if the servant is Israel in this particular passage, how can Israel be suffering for Israel?
Yeah, I will answer that, but then we got to move on to a different prophecy because I'm tired of talking about Isaiah 53. Quite simply because Israel is not uniform. That within Israel, I think even you probably are aware of this bit of theology that within Israel, there's such a thing as the righteous remnant. And we can have righteous people within Israel, and you have the greater majority of Israel, which are like wicked and sinful. And the people who are righteous remnant of Israel will often suffer because of the things that the people of Israel as a whole do. For example, the Babylonian exile. Lots of people were sinning. As a result, the people of Israel, Nebuchadnezzar came in, sacked Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, carried away Jewish people into exile. And even amongst those people, there were righteous people who suffered alongside of the innocent. I think a primary example, if you want to take I don't think this person existed, but if you want to take the Bible into consideration, Daniel was a righteous person who suffered even though he was righteous. He was in exile, and he, as far as we know, he wasn't guilty of any idolatry or any of the sins that led to the exile. So we have in Isaiah 49, the prophet who's writing the section of Deutero-Isaiah, God refers to them as the servant. And it says that their job is to not only be a light to the nations, but to not only to bring back the lost of Jacob, but to be a light to the nations. And that's the job of every Israelite, a righteous Israelite, to be not only to bring back the strayed sheep of Israel, but also to serve as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation to other Jewish people, to other non-Jews.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, so yeah, so just moving away then from Isaiah 53 of, of course, Jesus, and I know you don't necessarily believe in the New Testament, but he said that the Old Testament speaks about me. So you mentioned Daniel. I mean, that now this is just one thing, and I'm sure you have a rebuttal for it, but in Daniel chapter 9, where it talks about, almost like kind of gives a timeline where really talks about the Messiah coming before the destruction of the temple. Of course, we know the destruction of the temple was in 70 A.D., and the Messiah had to come before 70 A.D. And if you ask yourself the question, who fits within that timeline, then that's
Onias
Jesus.
the
I mean,
third.
I'm
Onias
sorry.
the third. Onias the third. Also, quick note: it doesn't say the Messiah. Some Bible translations might say the Messiah, but the definite article is lacking in the original Hebrew of Daniel chapter 9. It just mentions an anointed one will be cut off and will have nothing. And that's
And
most scholars
who's that
believe
you rep?
most scholars believe that's a reference to the high priest Onias the third, who was slain in the temple by Antiochus Epiphanes. When we take a look
Okay.
at Daniel chapter 9, it tells us that there are 490 years that need to be calculated, and that calculation begins with the going forth of the word to rebuild and restore Jerusalem. The thing is that according to the book of Ezra, that word about the going forth to rebuild and restore Jerusalem is given by King Cyrus. And that word was given in 589 BCE. And if you had 490 years later, it doesn't get you to the time of Jesus. It only gets you to around 40 BCE.
Okay, so with this Onias, then that's a good point. How do you deal with, as the Old Testament describes the nature of the Messiah, that essentially he was more than just a man, right? In Isaiah 9, it talks about him being the mighty God, everlasting Father. In Psalms 110, it says the Lord said to my Lord. So David calls someone my Lord, yet this person is the Son of God.
Which one would you like to talk about first, Isaiah 9 or Psalm 110?
Let's go with Isaiah 9.
Sure. So Isaiah 9 doesn't tell us explicitly who the child is, but it does give us a few hints so that we can narrow down the scope of who the child could be. First and foremost, when we take a look at the tenses being used in Isaiah 9:6, it says, Ki yeled yuled lanu, unto us a child has been born. This is important because it doesn't say unto us a child shall be born, future tense. In other words, whoever the child is someone who's already born in the 8th century BCE, We also know that this person was, so by the way, that so that narrows it down to the 8th century BCE. It also tells us that it was a king of Israel. There were five kings of Israel in the 8th century BCE. And then this takes place in chapter 9, which is after King Ahaz is already alive, because King Ahaz is mentioned in chapter 7. So that narrows it down to two people, either King Hezekiah or King Manasseh. And the king of Isaiah 9 is righteous, so it can't be Manasseh. So the only possible person it could be is Tomer just says, rest in peace, Dalton. Thank you, bud. Here, this is my gift to you. Anyways, and the only individual it could possibly be is King Hezekiah. Now, in regards to those titles, I would push back that the way that the syntax of the phrase Pele Yoetz El Gibor Aviad Shalom, there are multiple different ways that this has been and can be translated. One way that is popular in Christian settings is to say his name shall be called the Wonderful Counselor, or sometimes it's Wonderful and Counselor, two different titles. See, even then it's confusing in Christian translations. Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Another rendition, and I actually agree with this rendition, is that his name will be called the Mighty God is Working Wonders, the Eternal God, a peaceable ruler. So it's not really describing the child as being the mighty God, but rather describing what the mighty God, the Everlasting Father, is doing through the child.
So as you say, it was most likely or possibly talking about King Hezekiah. How do we then deal with the eternality of the kingdom that it describes in the next verse when it talks about the increase of the government and peace? There will be no end on the throne of David, and towards the end it says forever.
Yeah, that's just the hopeful speech of the prophet Isaiah. We also see the prophet Nathaniel speak likewise of King Solomon in 2 Samuel chapter 7, saying that his throne will never end. I can accept this because I can just say that, well, this isn't really true prophecy. These are prophets speaking positively about a king, which actually kind of goes into also Psalm 110, because I don't believe that David is the author of Psalm 110. In fact, I don't think David wrote any of the Psalms. I believe that's a later tradition. And the Psalms themselves never actually say, your English translation will say a Psalm of David. But when you look at the Hebrew, it says Mizmor la David, using the preposition lamed, which means for or to. When we take a look at Psalm 110, I'll pull up the Hebrew real quick. Let me see. EDB Psalm 110. All right, Psalm 110. If we look at the Hebrew of Psalm 110, it says, La David Mizmor, for David, a psalm. Neum Yahweh, a declaration of Yahweh. La Adoni, and that's important also. It doesn't say a declaration of Yahweh, La Adonai, which Adonai is the term that's used for God. It's the divine title of Lord. Instead, what we see here is it says Adoni with a underneath the letter Nun here. There's what's called a kirik. It makes it's like the word that's used to describe King David when Bathsheba calls him Adoni, my Lord. This is the psalmist saying, he's writing this for King David, it's a psalm, and it's saying that Yahweh says to my Lord, being to King David, Shev la yamini ad yeshet, sit at my right hand, oiviecha hadom la regleka, until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that in the sense that it's not a divine name for God. Okay. So you're saying that the Adonai that is talking about David himself.
Yeah, Adoni, not Adonai. Adonai would be God. Adoni is a word that you would use for human rulers. So Adonai and Adoni, they both mean my Lord. One is a concretized abstract plural. That's Adonai, and that's used for God. And then Adoni is used for human rulers.
Got you. Okay, so if it's talking about David when it says sit at my right hand, um, sharing authority, participating in rule,
Yes.
was David saying that somebody is doing that with him, and who is that?
Yahweh, no, the psalmist writing this psalm for David is declaring that Yahweh is saying to David to sit at his right hand and to have that same authority with him. And we do see in the Hebrew Bible that there's a belief that the kings of Israel, they are vassal kings. They serve under Yahweh. In fact, when we read about King Solomon's coronation in Second Chronicles, it describes that King Solomon sits on the throne of Yahweh. And it says that the people of Israel bowed down and they worshipped Yahweh and Solomon.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Well, let me ask you about just a few more that I think that proves it. And it's when you deal with the types and the shadows, and even without mentioning Jesus of the
Oh, my
Passover lamb.
So
Go ahead.
I actually, it's funny you bring that up because I have a new video I recently put out. It's actually on the topic of typology, and I'll tell you what it says, but you can go and watch it after this so you can just get more detail. Here, let me take a look.
Sure.
View my channel. The name of the video is called why typology is not a convincing argument for Christianity. And basically basically it's like the most recent video I made 8 days ago. Basically the reason why typology isn't very convincing for us is because for example, let's take for example the typology of Jesus as the Passover lamb. Exodus chapter 12, God gives instructions to the Israelites on how to prepare the Passover lamb. And Jesus is supposed to be the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. And even when you read the Gospel of John, Jesus dies on the preparation day of the Passover in the afternoon. That's the same day and same time that the lambs are sacrificed in the temple. So the question is, why is this not a convincing argument? And the reason is because the authors, we have good reason to believe the authors of the New Testament are changing facts about Jesus's life in order to comport with types and shadows. The example I've just given, being the Gospel of John, places Jesus' birth, John 19:14, on the preparation of the day of the Passover and in the afternoon. When we read the Synoptic Gospels, however, Jesus is not crucified on the preparation day of the Passover. He's crucified the day after on the Passover, and not in the afternoon, but at 9 in the morning. That's how it is in the three Synoptic Gospels. In the Gospel of John, it's changed, and that's because the author has a theological agenda that he wants to push, that being Jesus as the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. So typology isn't all that convincing for us as atheists because we acknowledge that the authors of the Gospels aren't being accurate with the things that Jesus said and did.
Well, now, Dalton, now on that one, and you may know more than me. I'm a little fuzzy on this, but with that particular discrepancy, if you will, we're saying that depending on, and I'm gonna say it wrong, like what type of
Calendar?
Jew you were, you may, calendar, you may look at it differently. So how did you deal with because that's a possibility.
So the apologetic that's often used in this case is the idea that Romans had a calendar they went by, and then Jews had a calendar they went by. And one gospel author is using the Roman reckoning of time, and another author is using the Jewish reckoning of time. And the problem with this is it's simply just not true. When it came to how Romans and Jews reckoned the hours of the day, like if you said to a Jewish person in the first century, it is the third hour, and they would have thought in what we would call the third hour is 9 a.m. If you went to a Roman and said it is the third hour of the day, they also would have thought it was 9 a.m. The difference in calendar is not in how one reckons the hours of the day, it's how one reckons the civil day. There's in both Jewish and Roman calendars, there's what's called the natural day and the civil day. The natural day begins and ends with the rising and setting of the sun. And that's how you count the hours of the day. The civil calendar, you start the day, the civil day, for Romans, midnight. For Jews, the civil day begins at sunset. but that's not how you count the hours of the day. That's just that's how in the Jewish and Roman background, how you reckon when does the next day technically begin. But when you're a Jewish or Roman individual and you want to count the hours of the day, you would count it in the same exact way, from the rising of the sun. And even then, it doesn't help, because even if all that wasn't true, and it was just simply that there was like different timing of the days, the fact of the matter still stands that according to the Gospel of John, Jesus is crucified on the preparation day of the Passover, and in the Synoptic Gospels, it's on the Passover.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, you have a you have a counter for everything. You have a counter for everything. So I had one more point. Look at the
I will
notes
say
real quick.
this: you're the best guest I've had today, most civil. So,
No,
W2.
I appreciate. I mean, yeah, I'm open. I'm open to all points. I mean, I still believe that Jesus was the Messiah, and a lot of times it's based on your theological perspective and how you see things, and so. But I'm always open to hearing what other people have to say, and so you are. I mean, and I can't. You have some very 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 good, very strong points. So I'm definitely going to go back and watch and watch your videos, and I may come back and and share some more and try again. Who knows?
I hope so. But what was going to be your next point?
Well, it was really still dealing with going back to Psalms 9, and still dealing
Isaiah
with
9.
Isaiah 9. I'm sorry, dealing with Psalms, dealing with David, and you said that he was being written about by somebody else. But in that,
Yes.
if so you're saying that Yahweh is talking about David. Yahweh said to my Lord. So it would appear that Yahweh was praising David in a sense.
Yeah, so it was
Does that make
really
sense?
well, technically, who's actually praising David and extolling David is the psalmist. And the psalmist is declaring that Yahweh is saying this to King David, and thus in order to extol King David. And note that when we say, like, the Lord said to my Lord, the word for to before my Lord, you'll see here, here's the word for la Adoni, to my Lord. And notice that you see that first letter, that first letter in the Hebrew, it kind of looks like a lightning bolt.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so that's the letter Lamed, and it means two or four. And you notice that, like I said, like how your Bible might say the Psalm of David. In fact, it's actually not a Psalm of David, in the sense of written by David, but a Psalm of David in the sense of a Psalm about David. And when we look at the first word of the Psalm, it's the word La David. We get the word David, which is David, but notice that the first letter is also the letter Lamed again. So that can show you how, just like it means the Lord said, not by my Lord, but to my Lord, not said it by my right hand, but at my right hand. Here, Lamed is serving the same function, that the psalm is written to or for or about David.
Gotcha. All right. Last point. You're gonna have something for this too. I know. So how do you deal with the you are a priest before ever after the order of Melchizedek? Right.
Yeah, that's no different than what we had in like Isaiah 9 or 2 Samuel chapter 7. That this is, again, for Christians, they read the Bible and they think of it as these are divinely inspired words of God, therefore they are infallible. I just read the Psalms as the work of a psalmist, and the psalmist is praising King David, and he's extolling David and saying that, listen, you are a priest forever, like Melchizedek. Like, he's just giving praise to King David, not necessarily that it's true.
He's not saying that he is a priest forever.
Well, that is what the psalmist is saying. I just don't think the psalmist was correct.
Huh. Okay. All right. I don't have anything else. That might be something I got to study that a little bit more. That might be something I come back to, but at another time. But I really appreciated the time.
No problem. Have a good day, bud.
All right, you too. Later.
Big W
Hey,
for the guest for being very polite.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, what's up, bud?
Not much, Dalton. How about you?
I'm doing good. By the way, everyone, this is the. I don't know if you saw earlier, Johnny. I gave you a little bit of a shout out.
I did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, everyone, if you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok right now, click on Johnny's profile and give him a follow. If you like my content, you'll like his content. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, Nick K's here. Hello, Nick K.
Let's see. Good guest. Lots of good conversation. All right, now
I
we're
had a
going to
good
talk
one
to
last night. Last night
You
I
had
had a good guest who actually wanted to listen. He actually wanted to learn. We talked about Isaiah 7 and some other things, and he was actually receptive to what we were saying. At the end, he was like, well, I'm still a Christian. I still believe that there's a God because I had a personal experience. And I'm like, well, your personal experience can't be helpful to me because everybody's got one, and it doesn't help me any. So
Oh, real quick, JPass says, try your life in Islam. You wouldn't be praying for Jesus. No, thank you.
Dude.
I don't like diddling kids. Anyways,
yeah, we're not about that.
all right, we're gonna bring up Lost.
Oh, hey, Lost.
How you doing, John?
Have I spoken
Lost
to you
is
before,
not
Lost?
opposition.
I've definitely been up here, I think, at least once.
All right, well, I don't have any opposition right now, so if you have a question you'd like to ask, I'm gonna try to keep my friendlies at one friendly at a time.
Oh, okay, I'll drop down then, but I'll hop on the glazing Johnny bandwagon. Everyone go follow him.
Hell yeah!
Thank you.
Would you like to, Johnny? Would you like to hear my syllogism for Islam?
Always.
Yeah. Premise number 1: those who diddle kids are pedophiles. Premise number 2:
correct.
Muhammad diddled kids.
Correct.
Conclusion: Muhammad is a pedophile.
Yeah, no problem with any of the premises. The premises follow the conclusion. Yeah, all true. Correct.
What was this over here? JPass says they hate Jesus because of their sexuality.
Yeah,
no.
I saw his comment. He's yeah.
What? I hate. I'm straight. I'm kind of straight. Like, I like women, and I don't care what their genitalia is. So
yeah, I know how you feel, Dalton.
Exactly. So I'm somewhat straight, I guess, but I'm not an atheist, and I don't hate Jesus because I'm kind of straight. I don't like Jesus because I think he was just a bad person.
He was also a liar and a fraud, fulfilled 0 prophecies, didn't fulfill a single prophecy, not one. All the prophecies they claim he fulfilled are cherry-picked. The only thing he actually fulfilled, funnily enough, was Deuteronomy 13 when it talked about false prophets because he failed his own second coming.
Yeah, facts. St. Bruno says, if Jesus is part of the Trinity and impregnated Mary, then isn't Jesus a PDF? Yeah.
Oh.
Because he
and his own father.
He's his own dad, and he also impregnated his teenage mother. So, yuck. Why would Jesus, who spread love, never unalived anyone, be a bad person? Because Jesus believed that the Torah was unequivocally from God and everyone should follow it, and the Torah is a horrible book.
He also told his disciples to bring his enemies to his feet so they could slaughter them. So
Emmy, she, her says there's actually a term for that. Gynosexual. Gynosexual? Here, let's take a look at the dictionary. Let's see. Define. Gynosexual. So a sexual orientation characterized by attraction to femininity, female anatomy, or women regardless of person's assigned gender. Oh, yeah. There you go. Gynosexual. There's a guy I know who's sexual. Frozen Coconut says the Church of Jesus Christ of what was that? Of Latter-day Saints know that Heavenly Father distinct from Jesus. Yeah, but you also believe the con man Joseph Smith dug out gold plates and that Native Americans had horses prior to horses being found in America. So dirigible, where's Ashlyn? Ashlyn is taking a break from social media right now. So that's why y'all haven't seen any bit of Ashlyn on here. Oh shit, where'd my Where'd my guest, well, all my chat box go? Holy shit.
I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still here, but the chat is gone. How do I?
Oh, the chat's gone?
Yeah.
Weird.
We'll
TikTok's
fix
full
that.
of glitches.
Well, I'll fix that. I'll restart the live after we talk to our next guest. So I'm gonna bring up BP BP hold on a second.
Yeah, hello.
BP
Wait, can I ask you a quick question?
Well, I have to ask you 3 questions first, and then we can talk. Question number 1.
Yes, sir. I'm fine with that.
Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I was born in 2007.
And what pronouns do you go by?
I go by he, him.
And do you believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Yes, I believe in Jesus was the Messiah.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I do not believe Jesus was the Messiah. Can you give me any good reason why I should think he was?
Wait, you believe it? You're a Christian too?
No, I said I do not believe Jesus was the Messiah.
Could I ask, wait, what's your religion then? Can I just ask that real quick?
I don't have any.
You're atheist?
Yep. So can you give me a reason why I should believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Well, first off, I can give you a reason to believe in the Bible, which says Jesus was the Messiah.
Well, I only care about the singular claim of Jesus being the Messiah.
Well, I can't give you a reason. The Bible gives you a reason why Jesus was the Messiah, does it not?
And what reasons would those be?
Well, one of the reasons why I believe in the Bible is because it is one of the most pronounced religions in the world, and it's one of the most studied religions in the world. It has the most renounced. You know what that means?
Renounced, and how well it's studied doesn't tell me whether or not Jesus was actually the Messiah. It only tells me a lot of people really believe this thing.
Well, no. But also, it's when I say it's the most. Oh, sorry. I'll let you talk. Here you go.
But why should I believe the claim that you believe in, other than the fact that it's popular?
The fact it's not that it's popular, it's because, like, you can believe in any religion. Like, there's no proven religion. It's just faith. You know that, right?
Yeah, faith is
no
useless.
Proven religion.
Faith is useless.
Faith is useless.
Yes, because you have faith and it leads you to Jesus. A Muslim has faith, it leads into Muhammad. If faith can
the
lead
reason
you to,
I believe in Jesus and a Muslim.
We'll get to that in a second. If faith can lead you to the truth and to a falsehood, faith is no better than flipping a coin for getting to the truth. I am a person who wants to know what's true, and faith is not a good mechanism for getting to the truth. I need something more reliable.
Well, okay. First off, since I know you're an atheist, and you will never believe in religion if you don't have any faith. And so, first off, you know that you come on here knowing that no one can prove that Jesus was the Messiah, but there is reasons because
I don't know that.
What do you? So first off, since
BP,
yes, sir.
BP,
yes, sir.
I don't know whether or not someone will ever be able to convince me that Jesus was the Messiah. I'm not against the idea.
No one will. It's because it's not proven.
I don't. Well, okay, then it's a concession that I shouldn't believe Jesus was the Messiah. Then.
Well, no. But first off, so I'm guessing you're an atheist and you go off of facts, right? You go off of proof.
Evidence. Yes.
So do you like base your life off of proof?
Yes.
Do you have faith in anything?
Things. By faith, what do you mean? Define
you have faith in anything? Like, do you like? So
believe
when you
things
say
without
so,
evidence?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so let's say if you believe everyone has faith. Actually, first off, let's get to that. Well, yeah, let's say you go to a doctor's office and they give you a medicine. How do you know that medicine's not poison? You have to put faith in that doctor that it's not poisoned.
Yeah,
am I not wrong?
Because I know that my doctor has a medical degree. I can look at their history and know for a fact that
that's not 100% proven. You have to have faith that he has a medical degree. You don't know that.
Well, now you're not talking about merely. You're not merely talking about faith. Now we're talking about confidence.
Oh, you're lagging, sir.
We're not just talking about faith anymore. Now we're talking about confidence, and those are two different things.
Dalton, may I bring up something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Of course, Johnny.
Yeah, so like we have faith, not faith. We have confidence in our doctors, because especially based on like past evidence. So like when I was a kid, obviously I didn't know my doctor, but I mean, I'm not.
So
even
you had
a kid.
to have faith.
Hold on, BP. Hold on, BP.
Yes, sir. Yes,
hold
sir.
on, BP.
Sorry.
my parents took me there because they had confidence that this doctor knew what he was doing, that he had a medical degree, that he wasn't some nut job who was faking, that he had a medical degree, that he had, the expertise to do what he was doing. And they were right. The evidence led them in the right direction. The fact that he really knew what he was doing, and I'm alive today because of doctors. And so obviously they're the evidence that they found that this guy actually has a medical degree and all these things, like that's a good thing. So yes, we have a reasonable confidence based on past evidence. We do not have faith, especially if you go by what the Bible says. The Bible describes faith as the assurance in things unseen. That's not what we're doing. We're not seeing the things that are giving us this confidence. We know based on past evidence that we have, based on past experiences and evidence, that these things are the case. Like, we know that our doctors have medical degrees and all these things.
So you just said, but I thought you believed in facts, not evidence. Do you believe in evidence or facts?
Well, how do you think we get to facts?
Well, not facts. Like, I have evidence for the Bible being real, but I don't have. Yeah, I do.
Oh, well, present it, please.
Yeah, what facts could lead me to believe that Jesus... To be specific, what facts lead us to believe that Jesus was the Messiah? I want to stay on topic.
What facts lead us to believe what's... Well, that's not what that he asked me. He was asking me what facts... Well, if I prove... So let's say I have evidence for the Bible. With the Bible talks about Jesus being the Messiah.
Well, that doesn't... Because you might have evidence for one part of the Bible doesn't mean that evidence for the rest of the Bible is true.
So you don't believe that... so if one part of the Bible is true, that other part's not true? That makes no sense.
No, for example, the Bible makes a claim that the Jewish people were carried into exile to Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar. We have evidence for that. The Bible also makes a claim that there was a worldwide census during the time of Quirinius, and as a result, the people of Galilee had to go travel to their homeland in Judea to participate in that census. There is no evidence for that. In fact, the evidence points against that.
Well, there's like not evidence for everything. I get that. So what I'm saying is that there's not evidence for everything. You're right on that. I will say you're not right. There's not evidence from the Bible, but there's evidence that the Bible is right in some things, like especially that it's true. Because, so, like,
what evidence do we have
especially that Jesus? Do you believe that Jesus was a real person? First off,
probably.
It's a yes or no.
No, it's not a yes. I mean, I have somewhat confidence in his existence. Not very high.
So I'm gonna take that. Okay.
But I'm willing to concede that Jesus existed and that he was even executed by the state.
Okay, I get what you're saying right there. So you believe that, right? It's because you have confidence. If you have confidence in something, you think it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
No, you think you believe
that it did happen.
Okay, so then Jesus. Trying to think how I can word this right now.
Because we generally have some evidence that he was a real person. I believe he was a real person as well, but like the evidence is very flimsy as well.
Oh well, there's thousands of scribes on him. It's actually the most scribed religion of all time.
There are not thousands.
Yes, there is.
How many contemporary?
There is scribes of Jesus. Yes, there is. What do you think the Bible is?
I'll give you this.
The Bible is?
I'll give you this, that if you have scribes hundreds of years later writing about Jesus, then sure, you can have thousands of scribes. But if we're talking about contemporary scribes, there are 0 contemporary scribes that talk about Jesus of Nazareth.
Wait, what does contemporary mean, Ruben? It's like...
Meaning they were writing about Jesus while he was alive, and also you're extremely muffled.
What do you think the Bible is?
You're muffled. Like, we can't hear you. You're muffled.
The Bible. What do you think that is?
The Bible is a collection of books written by mostly anonymous authors, but we have no works about
it was some of the books. First off, some of the books were written by his disciples. You know that?
No, they weren't.
No.
Yes, they were.
No. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were anonymous works. We don't get titles for them until at least the late 2nd century CE. And in fact, our oldest manuscript of the Gospel of Matthew doesn't even have a title on it. We don't know who wrote it.
Yeah, but they're his words.
No, we don't know that.
Church fought.
You don't know that, but
yeah, like
how do you not know that?
BP, for example, when Jesus sent out his disciples 2 by 2 into all the land of Israel to evangelize, which one of these was Jesus's words? Did Jesus said, "Take nothing with you, not even a staff," or did he say, "Take nothing with you except a staff"? Which one of those two are the words of Jesus?
Say that. Wait, will you say that one more time? Sorry.
When Jesus sent his disciples out on their evangelistic mission to all the region of Judea and Galilee and whatnot, he told them, which one did he tell them? Did he tell them, "Take nothing with you except a staff," or "Take nothing with you, not even a staff"?
I have no idea. You're gonna have to tell me that one.
Depends on which gospel. Depends on which gospel you read, because one gospel says one thing, another gospel says the other thing. Both cannot be the words of Jesus. So no, I don't have any reason to think that the gospels are accurately recording what Jesus said and did, especially since we don't know who wrote them. These gospels were written several decades after Jesus was already dead, and they contradict each other. So I don't have any good reason. I don't have any confidence in the gospels.
Oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I have faith. I believe it, but like I'm not 100% sure it's true.
Faith is gullibility.
I'm not 100%. I'm not
asking you for to be 100% sure. I'm not 100% on anything other than my own existence. But I don't even have any good. I don't think you have any good reason to have high confidence in the gospels.
Well, okay, first off, even if let's say the gospels weren't real. Let's just say none religion was real, no religion was real. And you're right that it just happens after death. It's just a black pit of void. Is that what you believe in, right?
Sure, but this has nothing to do with the topic of whether or not Jesus was the Messiah.
Okay, can I just ask you this real quick?
We really need, because we've been all over the place in this conversation, we need to stay on the topic of, was Jesus the Messiah?
Okay, wait, can I just, like, I'm about to leave anyway. Can I just ask you this one thing real quick, please?
Sure.
So, like, I forgot, it was some famous philosopher, I don't remember the thing, but, wouldn't it be better to believe in a religion, even if it was true, than to die in hell?
No.
Pascal's fallacy.
Yeah, because here's the problem. Your religion is just as likely to be true as Islam or Buddhism or Hinduism. There are literally many hundreds of different gods that could possibly be true. The best thing to do is to be honest with what is available to us. And also, I would rather, if it turns out that none of those religions are true, and I'm correct, and when I die, I will cease to exist, I will have wasted my life serving these gods. Meaning, for example, waking up every fucking Sunday and going to church when I could be doing literally anything else. Meaning giving my tithes to a church if it turns out that that's true. Abstaining from
there's no point of believing
abstaining from masturbation and premarital sex, missing all those opportunities to fuck whoever I want, any consensual adult, all because some Bronze Age Israelite god doesn't like it. No, I'm not gonna waste my.
I'm just gonna say this real quick. If it's not wasting your time, first off, believing in any religion, it's not wasting your time.
It would be.
It's not, because my religion, first off, it brings me happiness. I'm happy to say that I'm God, because I learned from it.
As an ex-Christian who is now an atheist, I'm happier now as an atheist. It would be a huge waste of my time. Yes.
I would say that most Christians are happier now than they would be if they were atheists, because
that's because you're sheltered. That's because you're sheltered and you're indoctrinated and you don't know what it's like to live as an atheist.
Well, I'm not. Do you just go around having sex with everyone?
He could if he wanted to.
If I wanted to, yeah. If I meet a woman in a bar and we consensually want to hook up, then yeah, I'd fuck him in a heartbeat.
Well, I would be first off. That's Riz. First off, next off, I feel like I'd be more happier just like waiting till it's actually meeting something, wouldn't you? Or than just getting the pleasure out.
No, because what happens if you get married to someone? It turns out you're not sexually compatible with them.
What do you mean sexually compatible? Like
there are some people out there who have a very high sex drive, and there are some people who have little to no sex drive. and don't like to
Well,
engage
that's your control. You can control that.
No, you really
No,
can't.
you really can't.
You can't control if you want to have
should,
sex or not.
No.
Should me and my partner be miserable? Should my
Johnny
partner
Beans.
force herself to have sex with me even though she doesn't want to? Does that sound good to you? Would you like to live your life having would you like to live your life having sex with someone you don't want to have sex with?
Well, no, if I love them, I wouldn't care to have sex with them.
I don't think you know. Okay, listen.
If I love my partner, it wouldn't matter.
I am no longer convinced that you really are over 18. You sound like a child. You are. I was willing to. They ran away. Yeah. By the way, lying's a hell, you little shit. Lying's a sin, you little shit. Enjoy hell.
Revelation 21:8.
Yeah, like that's coming from someone who has zero life experience, obviously.
It's unfortunate because they're gonna one day they'll probably know what we're talking about and they're gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't fucking wait. All right. By the way, I got my chat up and working again. For some reason it just disconnected from the YouTube, but it's over here now on the side.
Chapter. I was gonna ask you, but I didn't want to interrupt. But Chapter asked if you had accidentally swiped left or right.
Say what?
Chapter asked if you had accidentally swiped left or right, and that's why your chat disappeared.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't swipe because this is on my computer, so I'm not swiping.
Oh,
anything.
that's right.
Yeah. So I don't know how to fix it to where it goes back situated on here, but here it is now. I can see it, so it's all good. We got a super chat.
From @Wicked826 with a $2 donation. What was Jesus's real/original name?
So in Jesus's time, his friends and family would have referred to him as Yeshua, spelt in Hebrew Yud Shin Vav Ayin. It's basically Joshua. Originally, Joshua in Hebrew was Yehoshua, and then during the Second Temple period, certain Hebrew Jewish names were truncated for the sake of convenience. So names like Yehonatan become Yonatan, Yehoseph become Yosef, Yehoshua becomes Yeshua. So that's why you get these shorter. That's why we call Jonathan and not Jehonathan.
Yeah, I'm Jonathan here.
Dalton, can you see me? I can see you. No more bullshit. Good to see you there. All right, we have another guest. Fucking child. Anyways, Gog Avong. I'm just gonna call you Gog. Gog, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes. Can you hear me? Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Question number 2: what pronouns do you prefer to go by?
She, her.
And then question number 3: do you believe Jesus was the Messiah, the prophesied anointed one of Israel?
That's a good joke. No.
Okay. Well, I'm only accepting guests right now who do believe that. So thank you for coming up.
Okay.
I was afraid that there was some ancient alien stuff going to get pulled up, and I do not care for that.
I had someone pull that a while back.
When I was younger, I was into the old ancient aliens thing, and then I learned about logical fallacies like arguments from ignorance, and realized that the Ancient Aliens TV show was one big fat argument from ignorance. And that show is atrocious. Ancient astronaut theorists think a lot of stuff. If anyone wants to see a really great YouTube channel debunking that bullshit, Milo Minuteman, Mini Milo Minuteman has a really great stuff debunking ancient aliens, and Graham Hancock. No more bullshit, please. Says my parents introduced me to ancient aliens. They're conspiracy theorist fans. Milo Rossi. Yeah, we love Milo Rossi. We're all Google debunkers here. Oh man, thank you for the cowboy hat. I hate conspiracy theories with a vengeance. I even hated them when I was a Christian.
I used to be
Hypocritically.
into Ancient Aliens a little bit, not a lot, but I used to be kind of like I used to think it was fun. I wouldn't like I didn't believe any of it. I thought it was fun, and I
When
did
I
have a
was
Christian try to.
when I was leaving
I did have a
Christianity,
Christian try to pull it up.
when I was leaving Christianity, I bought into it for a second, but then I learned, critical thinking skills and stuff like that. But we have another guest here, Angel Investor 70. Angel Investor, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and then we'll get to the question. We'll get to the question at hand. Question number 1: Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Okay. Question number 2: What are your pronouns?
I don't know, him, I guess. Yeah.
Question number 3: You believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Yes.
I already know who you are. You're insufferable, so please dial down on the insufferability. I'm Dalton the Bible.
What's insufferable about the truth?
You're a sophist. Anyways, question.
Yeah,
So I
Jesus.
don't think Jesus was Messiah. Can you give me a good reason why you think he was the Messiah?
Yes, Jesus was the Messiah, and you can look to Isaiah 52 and 53. It's evident
Israel.
that Jewish rabbis, Jewish
we don't care
rabbis
about that.
believe it's the suffering Messiah.
Oh, we don't care what rabbis.
Jewish rabbis believe.
Yeah, we don't care what Jewish rabbis hundreds of years. Angel.
No, today.
I know some people might let you speak over them. I'm not that kind of person. So I don't care. I don't care what rabbis today or.
Well, you're an idiot.
And listen. I knew he was going to crash out immediately. No one here gives a shit about tradition or what rabbis during the time of Jesus or today think. Can you give me a good reason from the book of Isaiah to think that this is about the Messiah?
Yeah. Yes, Jewish rabbis think there's 2 Messiahs that's coming in the end time.
From the book of can you show me from the book of Isaiah?
Jewish rabbi.
Fun fact: there are no Jewish rabbis in the book of Isaiah. So, can you give me a reason why? And he ran away. Hell yeah! I hate that fucker.
Fun fact. Verse 8 and 53 says Lamo. It's a plural. There's more than one person that's being referred to as a servant. So it's Israel. Israel is the servant. You got to read all of Deuteronomy, Isaiah chapters 40 to 55.
Yeah. No, he kept saying rabbis. Listen, Angel, if you want to talk to me, I'm not like all these other people out here who's going to let you just like bullshit your way through a conversation. I'm going to hold your fucking feet to the fire. Because I've literally watched 2 videos with you this week. One from John Cohen's channel, one from Justin's channel, and I couldn't stand you. So I don't give a shit what rabbis have to say who lived hundreds of years after Deuteronomy Isaiah. Also, I'm going to mute you. So the only way you can talk is by talking to me directly, not by talking to my chat. No one wants to hear your bullshit.
He didn't spell rabbi right either. He wrote rabbit.
Yeah, Jewish rabbits. According to Jewish rabbits, Jesus wasn't the Messiah because he couldn't hop high enough. Who's worse, Angel Investor or Deathless Light? I don't know Deathless Light, but Angel is.
He got my live taken down.
Oh, it did. Angel who? Angel or
Deathless? Deathless. Every time Deathless comes up to my thing, it says twice now, or like 2 or 3 times. He comes up, he crashes out. He says a bunch of bad things, and then him and his followers, I guess, mass report you, and then your live gets taken down.
Oh, then I just won't bring him up ever. Someone said, "Do Jewish rabbits chew the cud?" Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I've listened to too much of Angel's because I edit videos for Justin too, so I've had to edit videos and had to listen to his voice. His voice alone grates on my being. He crashed. All he does is crash
stronger than I am.
He likes to pretend to be a sophist. Like he likes to speak fast and use a lot of big words in his conversations where he tries to perform philosophy and perform science literacy. I say perform because he's not literate in either of those things. And as soon as he wanted to perform biblical literacy on my channel, all we got to see was the fact that Angel doesn't know how to argue about Jesus being the Messiah from the Bible. He has to run to the rabbis that, like most Christian, and this is the biggest problem I have with Christians citing the rabbis, and it's one of the biggest hypocrisies of Christians is that Christians will cite the rabbis when they agree with them, and then suddenly they'll be like, Oh, but we don't agree with the rabbis when they say that whether or not the Messiah will come on riding on a donkey or come riding on the clouds of heaven, it's conditional. So, like, they'll also say the rabbis are wrong. So, yeah, I also agree. The rabbis were also just wrong on Isaiah 53. Yeah, so Christians, you're never going to get anywhere with me citing rabbis because we don't care about dogma on this channel. Data over dogma. And you're not going to be able to demonstrate from the book of Isaiah that Jesus was the Messiah. You have to run to the rabbis.
And the only reason they had to recontextualize it to be about the Messiah is because Deutero-Isaiah failed. The prophetic about the redemption of Israel failed. It didn't come true the way it was supposed to. Yeah, and so they had to just recontextualize the prophecy to be about something else. They do that with all the prophecies that fail. They say, well, it means actually something different.
How can you have more data than rabbis? Because I live in the 21st century, Zan, and I have more information available to me than they did. Also, because unlike the rabbis of the Mishnah and the Talmud, I'm not dogmatically bound to any position. So I'm allowed to say things like, well, that's just a failed prophecy, when they weren't allowed to say that. Thus, they colored their beliefs. Like, for example, one of my favorite failed prophecies is Isaiah 52, verse 1. It says in Isaiah 52, verse 1, Dan McClellan viewer, he's Mormon, aka Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah, but he also teaches things that are go against Mormon doctrine. So, anyways, Isaiah 52, verse 1, the prophet says that the uncircumcised and the unclean would no longer enter into Jerusalem. And then in come the Greeks, who are both uncircumcised and unclean. And so, it's just one of the easiest failed prophecies to talk about. Man, but the hypocrisy of Christians is wild. Yeah. Oof.
Because those same Jewish people don't believe that it's about Jesus, but they want to side with the rabbis, saying, "Well, it's about the Messiah," but they ignore the fact that the rabbis disagree with them on who it is.
Now, there are some rabbinical sources that say Isaiah 53 is about the Messiah, but that's just a matter of like, because prophecy fails, what do? You either throw out the book of prophecy, or you recontextualize and renegotiate with the Bible in order to make it align with your dogma. In the case of the Jewish people of the Talmud and the Mishnah, the dogma was scriptures cannot be false. Prophecies never fail. Therefore, you have to make Isaiah 53 about something it's not. But it looks like we're not getting any more guests right now, so I think I'm gonna do a quick restart on TikTok, and then
Sounds good.
Johnny, and you're more than welcome to come back up and join me, Johnny, and then we'll start again. So I'll see you guys in just
Sounds
a quick
good. I'll be here.
second. Also, everyone, send in your super chats and we'll read them out loud. Remember that your super chats are the only way I'm able to keep doing this for a living. They're all very much appreciated. Go live. All right. I'm thinking about doing a live where I have multiple topics up on the board. Like, for example, Jesus was not the Messiah. I can do one about God is unjust and evil. Yeah, Christians love to talk about divine justice, but in reality, in Christianity, there is no justice. You either get off scot-free because someone else suffers for you, which is not justice, or you suffer forever for finite crimes, which is also not justice. So no matter what way you spin it, there is no such thing as justice in Christianity, or at least in mainstream Christianity.
Because what it boils down to really is like, either somebody else paid the price for your sins, but then like in order to get that kind of like, but in order to get that reward, not reward, but in order to get those privileges, basically, you have to then submit to this person who believes in horrible things, based on the Torah. They believe all those atrocious laws and things, and he says the law and the prophets. So he's also referring to just the Old Testament in general. Like, you have to submit to somebody who believes terrible things to get that reward, to get that privilege. Or you say, no, I don't believe in this stuff. or and then you do a few bad things just because we're human and we make mistakes sometimes, and then you end up being tortured forever in pain forever, for finite crimes. It's there's no justice either way.
I saw this really crazy meme. This is kind of off topic. I saw this really crazy meme, but it's hilarious. You know that one meme where it's the guy he's got the handkerchief and he's sweating and he's got the two buttons, and he's trying to decide which one to click.
Yeah.
Someone replaced his face with Donald Trump's face, and the two buttons said, bomb kids versus fuck kids. And then you see him sweating, and then he does this bit, so he pushes both buttons.
Oh no.
That's
because he has done both of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, the only reason I think if it wasn't for well, actually, you know what? We often like to. I used to have the belief that Islam was worse because they do pedophile apologetics, but as I've recently learned in these last few months of doing these debates more, taking out long enough time, and you can get Christians to do the same exact thing.
Yeah. It's pretty shocking. The first time I brought up Numbers 31 and I had somebody try to make an apologetic for it, I'm just like, that is disgusting.
Oh, YouTube punk. That's crazy comment. Poop Man Jones says Daytona. That's me. Daytona. Because I'm just going around now. I'm just going around and around in circles with these Christians. No, that's like 500. I've got more names. You heard of the 72 names of God. I got more names than Yahweh.
We made a Trinity joke a while back in the Discord. We're like, you got Duncan, you got Dustin, you got Dalton. It's the Trinity of the D's.
Triple D. Unorthodox Judaism says, which is your favorite failed prophecy? Mine is Hosea 11. I've also said my favorite failed prophecy is Isaiah 52 verse 1. So it's just the one because it's the easiest one to talk about. I suppose, like when it comes to Jesus failed prophecies, though, I really like Isaiah 7:14.
If I had to pick one of my favorite failed prophecies, it would be Jesus's failed second coming, because he tells you exactly when he's coming back. He tells you the time frame of when it's supposed to happen. Revelation opens with these are the things that must shortly come to pass. Mark 13:24-30, he says it's before that generation passes. And then in Matthew 16:27-28, he tells his disciples that it's before some of them will pass away. So he tells you that it's supposed to be at least sometime within the first century. And then guess what happened? Nothing. It didn't happen.
Zan says Jesus teaches to love each other. That's the law and the prophets. Really, Zan, have you read the law? Are you familiar with this little thing called slavery? Yeah.
Exodus 21:20-21, Exodus 2-6. Exodus 21:2-6, Leviticus 25:40-46.
Wouldn't Jesus coming to Paul be a second coming? No, because Jesus remained in heaven when that vision came to Paul. In order for it to be a second coming, Jesus has to physically descend from the heavens and return. So anytime that we
And he didn't come on the clouds with his army of angels together as a light from the four winds.
Yeah. Ashley says, no, Zan is just a keyboard warrior. Yeah, we know. That's all they do is type. They type and never talk. It's what a waste. I mean, God, imagine wasting your time as a keyboard warrior for Christ on an atheist live. Like, it's pathetic. Johnny, do you like Starfield?
I've never played it, but I've heard good things about it.
Well, you should play it. Although, wait till April 7th and then play it. There's a new update coming out.
All right, sounds good. I can do that. I got money now.
Hell yeah! There's a new update coming out.
Oh hell yeah! I like
and
the
it's
update.
And it's gonna make. Oh god. Let me see. I got a message from YouTube Punk saying, oh, yeah, YouTube Punk, 100%. I'm not gonna say what he said, but 100% valid reason to do that. Yeah, 100%. just researching the origin of the Bible helped me deconstruct. Yeah, that can do it for people too. I have friends like Liz, redheaded trouble, who says that like learning the origins of the Bible helped her to deconstruct. My biggest thing that helped me deconstruct was finding out the Bible was a flat earther book. And even with like the modicum of you're good, YouTube Hunk. Even the hi Liz. Even the modicum amount of scientific knowledge I had resulted in me like figuring out the Bible isn't true. So I was in a Bible study group, and people started pushing flat earthism in this Bible study group. And I remember one night lying in bed, and remembering that light had a speed. And if that's true, what's the farthest star we can see with the naked eye? And one Google search showed me that there's a star the farthest away we can see with the naked eye that was 16,000 light years away. Meaning, the fact that we can see it with the naked eye means it took 16,000 years to get to Earth. And that's where I started my deconstruction journey away from the Bible altogether. So, we have a super chat.
Yay.
Zach touched it off at the $5. When Jesus coming on Paul be a second coming or coming on the clouds? Super chat won't let me use the funds going to pumpkin. Jesus came all over Paul. And that's why Paul's eye, and that's why Paul was blinded, because he got in his eye.
That's so funny. Are you agnostic or a strong atheist asserting there is no God? Agnostic atheist. But not really relevant, because even if I believed in God, I still wouldn't think Jesus was the Messiah.
Yeah, we could be deists, and we still wouldn't believe in the Bible God. And we still wouldn't believe Jesus was HaMashiach.
Did you know, Johnny? Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that there's a certain sect of Judaism that denies all rabbinical tradition?
No, I did not. That's interesting. What's it called?
It's called Karaite Judaism. It's not very popular because there's such a small minority of Jewish people. Their biggest group is in Egypt, or was in Egypt. Now they have like a synagogue in San Francisco, I think. But they are basically the Protestants of the Jewish world. They only believe in the validity of the Hebrew Bible and not Jewish tradition. Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I see.
We have Kevin McC. Kevin, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we can get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I'm a he.
And then, do you believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I'm not convinced that Jesus was the Messiah. Tell me, Kevin, why should I think he was the Messiah?
Well, I don't think anybody's ever going to come on here and give you 100% proof. You got to have faith, right?
Well, no, I don't need faith, but I'm also not asking for 100% proof.
Well, if you were to believe that he was the Messiah, you would need faith.
No, I could just have high confidence based on evidence.
Or no, you'd have to have faith.
No, wouldn't need it.
Okay, well,
not if there's evidence. Well,
there is evidence.
Then I wouldn't need faith.
You absolutely would. I mean, anybody can look at this evidence and not believe it, right?
If it's bad evidence,
you can make a decision not to believe it.
Oh no, I can't. I can't make a decision on belief. I'm either convinced or I'm not convinced. If I'm convinced, then I'll believe.
But what convinces you?
If I'm not, evidence. You got good evidence specifically.
But who decides what good is?
Me.
Based off of what?
I feel like you're just trying to get away from the conversation. Like you don't have that. You kind of know you don't have good evidence, which is why you have to do this conversation. None of us care about that.
You can say that if you want, but it's completely wrong.
Then just present your evidence.
I mean, that's fine. It's completely wrong. My evidence is the Bible and my faith in Jesus.
Well, I don't care about your faith in Jesus. Now, why should I believe the New Testament? Why should I believe the New Testament's claim that Jesus was the Messiah?
Why should you?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the most scrutinized book in the history of mankind,
I
and
wonder
it's never
why.
been proven false.
Oh
It
no,
has
it
been.
has. Many parts of it have.
It has not.
It
It
has.
has.
No, it hasn't.
Like Jesus didn't
Okay,
fulfill a
no,
single
it hasn't.
prophecy.
That is total craziness.
Name
Point me
one.
to name
He
one.
fulfilled every single prophecy. He came.
Name one.
Then
He
you should
died
name
on the
one.
cross. He rose again.
Where? Okay, where is that in the Hebrew Bible? Point me a passage.
The Hebrew Bible. What do you speak? It's in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Where do you think the prophecies come
Yeah.
from?
What do you think prophecies are?
You realize that him coming to earth was a prophecy.
Okay, let me help you out here, Kevin. Let me help you out. Prophecies are declarations about the future from prophets, and they're found in the Hebrew Bible, what you would call the Old Testament. The Old Testament makes prophecies about a future Messiah. The question is, did Jesus fulfill any of those prophecies? If so,
he did.
Book, chapter, verse.
Mark, Matthew, Luke, John.
Here, quick question: is Mark, Matthew, Luke?
They all gave firsthand accounts of Jesus dying and resurrecting from the dead. Every one of them did.
Kevin, you're confused. You're very confused. Is Matthew, Mark, and Luke in the Old or New Testament?
Why would you mute me? That's totally childish.
Answer the question.
What?
Is
What was
Matthew,
the
Mark,
question?
and Luke in the Old Testament or in the New Testament?
New Testament.
So when I asked you for prophecies from the Old Testament that Jesus fulfilled, and then you name me books from the New
Why
Testament.
much do you have that? What is the point? What's the point?
Because that's the criteria for how I know whether or not someone's the Messiah. If they fulfilled
That's
Old
your
Testament prophecy.
criteria.
Yep. And if you want me to believe that Jesus was the Messiah, you have to provide me evidence based on that. That's my criteria.
Look, I just think you got to have faith. That's what.
Here, one second. Yeah, no one
Wow,
gives a
sounds
shit.
just like him.
You guys are totally childish.
Oh,
Nah.
yeah,
you are.
Here, this is what I hear. That's all I hear when you talk.
Yeah. Right.
Is
Of
that
course.
all you got for
That's
us?
fine.
Is this all you got for us?
Yeah. Hope you guys have a good night.
I hope you
Yeah,
have
you
a
too.
night.
You guys are.
You guys are, and then he got cut off. Hell yeah. That's something I'll never understand is when they don't even know where the prophecies come from. It's like he's clearly never read the book at all because they tell you, they say it was spoken by the prophet, and then sometimes they'll name the prophet and sometimes they won't, and then you'll know, oh, so this is spoken by a prophet. Well, which prophet? Well, they're in the Old Testament, so you got to go find out where they are.
Kevin says weak. I agree, Kevin. Your argument was very weak.
It was the weakest argument I've heard from a Christian, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
Well, no, the calendar argument, but
yeah, the calendar argument's is like the worst argument for Christianity I've ever heard. Micah 5:12, born in Bethlehem. First off, Micah 5:12.
he meant two.
Yeah, I know. I was about to point out the fact that first off, it's Micah 5:2, and also Micah 5:2 doesn't say anything about the Messiah being born in Bethlehem. But corrupt, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to come up and have a conversation on Micah 5:2.
Micah 5:2 says that the Messiah will have to come from a Davidic lineage, from the clans of Bethlehem of Ephrathah, the clans of the Ephrathites of Bethlehem. If we read, I think it's 1 Samuel 7, they tell us that King David's father was an Ephrathite at Bethlehem named Jesse. So this is about a ruler coming from a Davidic lineage.
Yeah, not being born in Bethlehem. I challenge you, Corrupt, to find me the word born in Micah 5:2. Since I don't have any opposition right now, I guess I'll bring up a friendly for a moment. Grumpy Butterfly. Howdy, bud.
Oh, my bad. I'm driving. I didn't mean to request up.
You're good, bud. Gotcha. All right. Look at the trees, calendar, shroud, top 3 shitty arguments. The Shroud of Turin is a really bad one. Johnny, have you heard
Trinity
what we call...
of shitty arguments?
Yeah. Have you heard what we call the Shroud of Turin on here?
I have not. I don't remember.
The Shroud of Tourism. Because that's why it was created.
I remember. Yeah, the I think it was the bishop wrote a letter to the Pope saying that his predecessor had discovered it was fake and that it was created by a rival person, I think like a rival church or something like that, for the purpose of tourism.
I mean, technically it was rival, but I think it was like one of his predecessors was driven by avarice, greed. Yeah, basically though. Yeah, like he commissioned an artist to make the shroud. I actually have you read it before? I can send you a copy.
I have not read it. Yeah, I would love a copy.
Yeah, here I'll just here. Mem.
And
It's
it has
called
paint on it too.
Yeah, it's red ochre specifically is what's on the shroud.
And vermilion or whatever it is.
Ooh, vermilion. I love that color. Only because I like the sound of it.
I don't remember if that's actually how it's pronounced or not. I forget.
Who here has been to the tavern called the Vermilion Minotaur? If you know, you know. Yeah, I'll find that later and send it to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
That's from a podcast I love to listen to, but I'll tell you guys about that in a second. I'll bring up this guest real quick. They're friendly also, since we don't have any opposition who are willing and able to come up and defend their faith. Hey, Shadow, what brings you up, bud?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. If the music's too loud, I'll step outside. But what are I like the prophecies according to like the Talmud and the Hebrew Bible? Like, I know there's only a few like actual messianic prophecies. I was wondering your opinion on that.
Yeah. So there are actual messianic prophecies in the Hebrew Bible. They can be found, for example, in Isaiah chapter 2, which describes that in the last days that there will be peace throughout the whole world. Now, the Messiah isn't mentioned there, but throughout the rest of the prophets, the Messiah comes in the last days. So peace in the last days. The gathering in of the lost sheep of the house of Israel back to the land of Israel. And by the way, we'll bring you up Trey, the disciple, after Shadow. In gathering of the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the building of the temple in Zechariah. Ezekiel talks about the ingathering of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Let's see, what else is there? There is also Judah.
Zechariah 9:9.
Zechariah 9:9, that Israel's enemies will be destroyed and Israel's king will ride in on a donkey. And also Zechariah chapter 12, that there will be a great war from all the nations surrounding Jerusalem, resulting in a pierced individual after that. These are actual messianic prophecies. Yeah.
Okay, so I got Isaiah 52, Zechariah 9:9, and Zechariah 12. I can go ahead and read those on my own time. Thank you. Is the line of David also messianic too?
Yes, by definition, because the Messiah is supposed to be the king of Israel from the line of King David.
Hamashiach comes through Solomon.
Yeah.
And is the new covenant, I think in Jeremiah, I think is that messianic too, or is that just not related?
It takes place in messianic times. However, what most people aren't aware of, while Christianity teaches that the new covenant is for all peoples, Jew and Gentile alike, the book of Jeremiah says specifically that the new covenant is only for the house of Israel and the house of Judah and no one else.
Okay. Yeah, I know you got another person in the guest box. I do have one last quick thing that I was looking into Matthew and Luke, and I believe when Satan is tempting Satan, that if you look at them side by side, the second and third things that Satan tempts Jesus with are flipped. So that's another inconsistency that I found, I believe.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That's what happens when you copy someone else's homework and try to make small changes.
Okay. I didn't stump you this time. Okay. But okay, good to see you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
See you. Trey the disciple, you just disappeared. Where'd you go? Cotton Eye Joe. Trey the disciple, please return if you want to defend the proposition that Jesus was the Messiah. Bible said Messiah will come before the second temple, which happened in 70 AD. Jesus is Messiah, silly. Tokni, Daniel chapter 9 does not get you to the time of Jesus. It actually gets you to about 40 years before Jesus is born. That's the sad part. They always think that Daniel 9 is a ballpark out of the home run, but they never know when the calculations start. They read Ezra chapter 1, they would know.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that from you. That's yeah. I looked into that one too, and yeah, you're right about that 100%.
Yeah, they just can't deal with what they just ignore what Ezra says. Like fuck Ezra's opinion, I guess. But we got J Art. J Art. I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
I am 18, but my finger slipped. I didn't mean it. I totally agree with you. Jesus
Okay.
was not from the line of David, so he
Oh yeah,
cannot
big
be the
W.
Messiah.
W. All right. Have a good day, JR. Look, it looks like the only people who are brave enough to come up are non-believers. It looks like Christians just don't have the Holy Spirit in them, and thus don't have the courage to come up and defend the faith.
Should we invoke 1 Peter 3:15 on them?
Yeah, Christians, always be ready to give a defense for the hope that is within you, but do so. This is the part they forget, but do so with meekness and tenderness, so that you won't be held into contempt. Come on.
They always forget that one. It seems. I don't know how they forget that one.
Nini Baba quoting Hulk says, "Puny God." That's so funny. I'm gonna make Bible guy merch pretty soon.
Yeah, I gotta get something.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a shirt that says "Who's your Bible Daddy?"
Hell yeah, need that.
Another one that says "Keep reading, keep learning," which is my slogan. And you guys let me know. Maybe I get a shirt. If there's no pegging in heaven, I don't want to go. Maybe another one. So those are the merch ideas. You guys let me know in the comment section if that's something you guys would be interested in having. But we got some super chats.
Yeah, I'd love.
Hell yeah.
At Gentleman Viking with the $5. Darlington, last Thursdayism didn't convince you not to deconstruct.
Last Thursdayism didn't convince you not to deconstruct? What's last Thursdayism? Is that the idea that the world was created last Thursday and that is that okay, the idea? Okay, so are we talking about the idea that the reason why the stars are 16,000 light years away is because God made them made them like in transit, which is basically the same thing as saying what's the difference between that and the earth being created last Thursday? No, I understood it even then as a Christian, I kind of understood that this was a post hoc rationalization of the facts.
And then at Topsy 2000 with the £5. Great show. I've heard you speaking to Black Hebrew Israelites. They pronounce Yeshua's name as Yahusha or Yahwashi. What makes the pronunciation spelling incorrect?
Yeah, Black Hebrew Israelites do not like me because I actually speak real Hebrew and they speak made up Hebrew. And the way we know how the name of Jesus is pronounced is because the name Yeshua actually does occur in the Hebrew Bible. It occurs in the book of Nehemiah, and I also believe in the book of Ezra, perhaps. But the high priest Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, and Joshua, the son of Nun, from the book of Joshua, are both mentioned in these books. And these books were written during the Second Temple period. So the names there are Yeshua, and we have the vowel points, the nikudot underneath, which tell you what vowels go with which consonants. And thus you can know that, for example, Yeshua is pronounced Yeshua and not Yahusha or Yahawashi. Yahawashi is Yahawashi on, Yahawashi off. Yeah. I need to get another shirt of a guy doing karate chops going Yahuwah.
Jehovah's Witnesses do the same thing too. Don't they also pronounce his name as something that's not?
They just say Jehovah. Jesus and Jehovah. And Jehovah is not accurate. EBT Tacoma says, as an atheist, are you against Christians? Depends on the Christian. Not all Christians. Kevin Carnahan is a Christian. I quite like him. But Christians who are Republicans and are maggots, yes, I definitely hate those people. Anyone who uses their religion to oppress individuals, yeah, they can all go fuck themselves.
I'm not against the people unless they're bad people. I'm against the religion because the religion promotes bad ideas.
Then we got, what about a Christian who simply holds the faith to their heart? Depends. The faith he holds to your heart, does it turn you into an asshole, or does it make you a good person? If you're like a progressive Christian who like feeds the hungry, clothes the poor, good for you. But if you're the kind of Christian who says it's wrong to be gay or trans and we should fix you, then yeah, you're delusional and also a bad person.
I have a question about Leviticus 18 as well. Doesn't or is it 13, the one that says you shall not lay with another man? Doesn't it imply more about like grape rather than like consensual schmecks?
So in ancient times, the idea was that men should be the top, the dominant part of the sexual interaction, and the women should be the bottom. And if ever at any time a man is topping another man, or it's seen as like an aversion to the natural order, and thus and also seen as it's a power dynamic too, as well. That's why even in the, I think Rav Kavod, you could probably familiar with what the in the not, it's not in the Talmud, it's in the what's the text that has Lilith in it, the non-canonical
Well,
apocryphal
Isaiah.
book.
Oh, I mean, okay, yeah, I don't know, like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know that Lilith is mentioned in Isaiah once, but that's it.
Yeah, there's another work, I can't remember
Hey,
what
good
it's
to see you,
called,
Johnny.
but in the work that describes Lilith and how she ran away from Adam, one of the problems in the story for why Lilith was reprimanded is because she wanted to be a top. She wanted to top Adam. And that was considered a big no-no to people in the ancient world. And there were some people who thought that if a man allowed his wife to ride him on top, he could get diarrhea. They just had, that's just how ancient people thought,
I also wanted to add that the verb there is lishchav, which is the shoresh is shin chaf bet, and every time that verb is used, it's used in the he feel verb. It's used in the he feel context, which is the causative. So it really should be translated. Man should not cause man to lie down as one would with a woman, which is in what you're saying. And so anytime, and there's two types of biblical knowing. There's the ladat, which is like to know in the biblical sense. Everybody knows what we're talking about. You need like a sound for that one, and then that's like the consensual. And then shachav is this is usually when it's talked about in a sense of relations, it's talked about usually in terms of essay, and that's consistent with most of those usages. Like if you look at those Deuteronomy texts that are often brought up, like in the field and in the city, and in the case of somebody who has damaged the father's property, aka the daughter. Those are all shachav that are used there.
Okay, so we have another guest. I want to hurry up and get to them before they leave. Bud Freshore. No, you're good, Bud. Bud Freshore. Bud, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we can get to the topic at hand. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am. Well, I hope so.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you prefer to go by?
Lord Freshour. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a man.
So the pronouns you would go by would be?
Mr. Freshour. How's that?
Do you know what pronouns are?
I don't know if you want he, she. I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah. Which one do you go by?
I'm a he.
All right. And question number 3, do you believe that Jesus was the Messiah?
Yes.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I do not believe Jesus was the Messiah. Could you give me a good reason why I should think he is the Messiah?
Well, is the Bible true?
No.
Well, then there's your answer right there.
But let's presuppose that I believe in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, at the very least. Why should I think Jesus was the Messiah?
Well, that'd be a lie, right?
Yeah, but even if I believed in the Hebrew Bible, I still wouldn't think Jesus was the Messiah.
Okay, why?
Because he didn't fulfill a single prophecy from the Hebrew Bible.
Okay, what is it? What he didn't fulfill?
Any of them. Because it could take me hours to talk about all the prophecies he didn't fulfill. It'd just be faster if you could name me one that he did fulfill.
I just give me one he didn't fulfill.
He didn't bring peace to the world.
Oh, okay.
How about King of Israel, or unifying Israel, or gathering the exiles, or even being anointed?
His genealogies fail him too.
All right, so one of the things that I tell my wives and my children is that discipline delayed is not discipline.
Did you say wives?
I did. Discipline delayed is not discipline denied. Okay? Just because it didn't happen in your timeline doesn't mean that it won't happen. Okay?
I could say the same thing about Menachem Mendel Schneerson. Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the Rebbe, didn't fulfill all prophecy, but he'll just do it when he returns.
Yeah, I mean, you could. So the question is it right? You know. So I looked at here again. Oh, thank you. Looking into it briefly, okay, enough to get enough information to reasonably understand that Christ did fulfill a crap load of prophecies, right?
Okay, you should name me one.
Well, again, let me rephrase. At 52, I don't retain everything. As I was listening to the talk on what he did fulfill, okay, I can go over that and then come back another day and we can discuss it if you'd like.
Yeah, just name me.
To
yeah, can you just name it? All I'm asking for is one prophecy that he fulfilled from the Hebrew Bible. Just one.
Go to Isaiah 53.
Oh, Israel.
Yeah. Okay, so Isaiah 53 is describing the sufferings of the righteous remnant of Israel in exile.
Yeah, that's unfortunately doesn't match up with everything though.
But
if you want, you know what we could do? What we could do is this. How about this? Because I got to run. Would it be okay if I came back with Isaiah 53, went over it? Maybe you're right, and we'll talk about it more intelligently instead of me looking like a complete idiot. Would that be okay?
I'll give you this homework. Before you come back and talk about Isaiah 53, read Isaiah chapters 40 through 52 in one go.
40 through 52.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, fantastic. You'll be more prepared than any Christian I've talked to on Isaiah 53 at that point. As long as you've read those. On this channel, Christian just means someone who believes Jesus was the Son of God and the Messiah.
Yeah, I'm not Christian. I'm Hebrew Israelite.
I used to be a member of the Hebrew Roots movement. I'm quite aware of the theology, but I consider Hebrew Israelites to be Christian. I consider you a Christian.
I only laughed because we just talked about this. We literally just talked about the black Hebrew Israelites, and then we get one.
So, Bud, you know, I actually wrote my thesis on Hebrew Israelism. Are you familiar, sort of, where the history of your belief structure comes from?
Yeah, and it's not so in our denomination. A lot of those things that some of those individuals, my keys, we don't ascribe to.
So well, that's fine. Let me ask you a question. How do you, like, when it says you should bind them as a sign between your eyes, or you should bind them as a sign upon your arm, and they should be a sign between your eyes? How do you interpret that?
Yeah, the language is the word like. So it's trying
to say like. It says you shall bind them as a.
Right. And I'll explain that to you later. I gotta run, but I will do the Isaiah 40 through 52. Okay.
All right.
But just one more thing you should note is that
guys, I gotta leave. I am sorry. I gotta leave, guys. All right.
Yeah.
See you, bud.
Go. So when I was leaving Christianity and going into Judaism prior to my becoming an atheist, the transitional period that I experienced was called the Hebrew Roots movement. And the Hebrew Roots movement is basically what this individual ascribes to. And the problem with talking to people in the Hebrew Roots movement is that unlike most cults, which have a centralized leader and thus a centralized dogma, Hebrew Roots movement, you can get 5 Hebrew Roots people in a room, and they will all disagree with each other on all different kinds of topics. Some believe Jesus is God incarnate. Some think that he's not. Some will believe that the new covenant has been inaugurated. Some thinks that the new covenant hasn't yet been inaugurated, but that Jesus will fulfill it fully at his return. So like almost any bit of doctrine is up for grabs when it comes to like Hebrew Roots movement people.
Also, I need to clarify. I misspoke. So what I was trying to say is that he said he was a Hebrew Israelite, and we were just talking about the Black Hebrew Israelites. So I was trying to say that it's kind of a coincidence that we get a Hebrew Israelite who came up, but I made it sound like I was saying he was a Black Hebrew. That was a misspeak on my part. So I apologize.
Yeah. Some of them are actually flat earthers too, which is like when I was in that group and the flat earth was brought up, the group I was belonging to was Hebrew Israelite, Hebrew Roots movement individuals. I actually still have, I'm pretty sure somewhere around here in one of my boxes, I still have I have a Hebrew Israelite version of the Bible.
Oh no.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I got one delivered to my office recently.
Oh, which one?
I'll, you know what? When I next time I'm in the office, I'll let you know. I'll take a picture of it.
Oh, actually, I have a Bible.
It's
I want to
super
show.
special.
Well, let me take a look. Well, there's this one from the. I'll talk about. This is a Hebrew Israelite one, but let me take a look. This is Dalton's
Also,
big
just
bag of crap.
Just for the sake of conversation, Mormons are white Hebrew Israelites.
Really? I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, they think that they are the true Israel and that they divide themselves into the tribes, and they're building the temple, and they think that Utah is the promised land, and Zion and what have you. Yeah.
Dalton, are any of these books you would recommend?
These books?
That's why he keeps them in the box.
No, these books I would not
Yeah.
recommend. These books mostly are Catholic trash, like Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Eucharist by Brant Petrie, 5 Proofs for the Existence of God by Edward Fazer, On the Trinity by Augustine. That book is a slog to read through. I got some Liturgy of the Hours in here. The Case for Jesus by Brant Petrie. The only books in here I would suggest are is my Harry Potter series, and that's it. And my physics. I got a physics 6 book in here too. That's the only ones I would even suggest.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what? I'm not a wizard, you fucking oaf. If you've seen the video, you've seen it, Okay. Anyways, so a couple of books from the Hebrew Roots movement that I have. The first one is called The Orthodox Jewish Bible. If there's ever been a book that has been more falsely advertised, it's this book. And when I read to you here, what's a Bible verse that everyone's very familiar with? Pick one, Johnny. From the New Testament.
I want to hear.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? I didn't quite hear you.
Pick a New Testament verse that's very familiar.
Matthew 16, 27, 28.
Let's see. I go to the book
I'm
of
guessing
Mattisyahu. That's what it's called.
Nice.
Book of Mattis. Chapter 16, verses what?
27, 28.
Let's see. For the Ben Ha'adam, and then in boxes it says Moshiach, is about to come in the kavod of his Av, with his Malachim, and will then recompense every man according to his ma'asim. Amen, I say to you, there are some of those who are standing here who shall not taste death until they see the base of the Ben Ha'adam, Moshiach, coming in his malchut.
It's amazing.
So,
It's
first and
actually really fun.
foremost,
Did you say that?
the what?
Did you? There was one word. Oh, that they said. Why would they say Matisse Yahoo? It literally says Matisse.
Let me see if this one has Matisse Yahoo, because they use like Yiddish phrases.
Is it Matisse or Matit? Is it
This
Matit or Matisse?
Actually, this one says Matit Yahoo. So, but Matisse Yahoo is just like a Yiddish. But there's Yiddish in this book as well. There's Yiddish slang. They refer to God as the Oy Bishter in the New Testament here.
Oh my gosh. That's so good.
But what really bothers me as someone who knows Hebrew is for the Ben Ha-Adam. The word ha and ha-Adam that's the definite article. It's basically saying for the son of man, and then will come in the kavod of his father, of his av. It doesn't say of his father, just his av. It's like someone who's learned a few select phrases in Hebrew and have like dropped them into this new. So this book is this Bible was created explicitly for evangelizing Orthodox Jewish people. That's why it was created. From Artists for Israel International Publishers, New York, New York. So that's the most egregious one.
Stop spreading the news.
Does it have Old Testament
spreading
in
the
it?
news.
It does. It does have the Old Testament too.
Read Isaiah 7:14. I want to know what it says.
Oh, sure. Real quick, we'll see what Yeshiyah, not Yeshayahu, but Yeshiyah, the shortened form, which wasn't used in the book of Isaiah, chapter 7.
I bet it's
verse 14.
mistranslated. I'm very certain.
Therefore, Hashem himself uses Hashem. Therefore, Hashem himself shall give you an oat. And then in parentheses, it says sign. So they'll have the Hebrew, and then sometimes they'll have parentheses with the English next to it. Hine, ha'alma, the unmarried young virgin. Right. Then in parentheses, the unmarried young virgin shall conceive, not is pregnant, and bear Ben, and shall call Shmo Emmanuel.
That's terrible. I don't know why they do this. They got the Hebrew kind of right, but then they messed it up by adding a fake translation.
It's not done. It also has in parentheses, God is with us. God has a hyphen in the place of the O. And then it says also at the end of the sentence, in a bracket, see extensive commentary in the translator to the reader, page 7. Yeah. That's crazy. So, this next book...
Can you look up Exodus 14, 21, and 22 really quickly? I just want to see what it says for the Sea of Reeds, if you're up for it.
Shemot 14.
Yeah, nice.
Which verses?
21 and 22, 21 and 22, I think.
21 and 22. Then Moshe stretched out his yad over the Yam, and Hashem caused the Yam to go back by a strong east wind all that night, so that the Yam was made dry land, and the Mayim were divided. And the Bnei Yisrael then went into the middle of the Yam upon the Yabashah, dry land, and the Mayim were a koma, a wall, unto them on their right and on their left.
That doesn't say Sea of Reeds or anything. I guess.
No, I don't know which verse actually mentions the Sea of Reeds, the Yam Suf, and the... Here, one second. I'll just take a look. I'll just type in...
Sorry.
Red Sea in my King James Bible thing here, and it should pull up the first verse. Exodus 10:19. So 10:19. This Bible verse says, and Hashem turned a west ruach kazak me'od, which took away the arbe, and cast them into the Yam Suf. There remain not one arbe in all the borders of Mitzrayim. So there it just leaves it as Yam Suf.
Nice.
All right. So
funny because I'm probably the only person out of 180 people who are here that understood what you were just saying.
Yeah, for my English speaking audience, they're like, this Bible was not meant for you. Obviously, it was meant for people like Rav to read, because it's like, it's so funny. It's so we have a guest, so I'll bring up more of these books later after we talk to the next guest.
Yay.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We got here baby Chris. Chris, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Well,
Chris, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, definitely. 24.
Question number 2. What pronouns do you go by?
Oh, I'm into that new gen asking people pronouns. I'm traditional.
Loser. Anyways. Okay, let's see. Next book. We'll just keep shitting on Jesus with or without you being here, baby Chris. He really was a baby. Never claimed to be a Christian. Well, you
His name
fucking
was
act
right.
like.
There he is. I'm reporting him right now.
Yeah, go ahead, right there. Report his ass. All right.
Goodbye,
I
Chris.
guess we'll talk to G instead. All right, G. I'm gonna ask you 3
Hey,
questions,
guys.
and you have to answer these 3 questions, or you don't get to talk to me. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Okay. Yes.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
George.
That's not a pronoun.
J. Sorry, J. Whatever.
G is not a pronoun.
It's a proper noun.
I don't go
Pronouns
by
are-
any pronouns. I don't have a pronoun.
You just used a pronoun in that sentence. You said I don't go by any pronouns. So what third person pronouns? do
Okay,
you go
but I don't
by?
go by I. I don't go by I. I don't go by I.
Do you
I don't
go
call
by?
myself I.
Do you go by he, him, or she, her, or they, them?
No.
You don't go by any pronoun. So when someone says about G, he doesn't use
Brother,
pronouns.
you asked me what. Sorry, brother. You asked me what pronoun do I call myself? I don't call myself a pronoun.
I didn't ask if what you call yourself. I said what pronouns do you go by?
Yeah, you did. No, you
Nope.
go. What pronouns do you use for yourself? Do you call yourself?
That's not what he said. You're lying, G.
I'm not
Yeah, I
lying, bro. That's what
G,
my brain remembers.
G, what
Okay?
pronouns
Well, your
do
brain
you
sucks
go?
then.
And then I go, and then I say,
Yeah,
then
I'll
I
just
go,
mute him.
George.
G, what pronouns, third person pronouns, do you go by? If someone said
Clear as day, Dalton's.
If someone said he doesn't know how pronouns work, would that be accurate to you or
So are
inaccurate?
you asking me if I'm a girl? Are you asking me if I'm male or female? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I didn't ask about.
That's
I didn't.
not.
That's your sex. I didn't ask about your sex. I just asked what pronouns you go by.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't go by pronouns. I don't call myself a pronoun.
I didn't ask if you called
yourself that.
Jesus Christ.
What's
G,
the difference between what pronouns you go by yourself and what?
G, I'll give you one last chance. And if you can't just answer these questions, I will just drop you because I got a better guess.
Bro,
for you.
you're a fat loser. Without TikTok, you will have no life.
That's a Christian, everyone.
That's a Christian.
Colossians
You know what they say?
3:8, 3:12.
He's. You know what? I am fat. I am fat. I like food, but at least I'd rather be fat and smart than skinny and stupid. Anyways, Quintavious, you are actually a good guest, and I enjoyed our last. Oh wait, is it? Are you the same Are you the same Quintavious I talked to you before?
No, this is my first time.
Oh damn! I thought it was the other one, but it's fine. I'm hoping you'll be as good as the last Quintavious I talked to. Quintavious, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and hopefully you can answer them. Question number 1: are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
I'm a man. Traditional value. He, him, I guess.
There you go. You got there. Question number 3: do you believe Jesus is the Messiah?
Yes. If I may ask you a question, because I realized that, people before me, you asked their pronouns as well. Do you guys follow, question yourselves as, not question, but label yourself as people under the LGBTQ?
I mean, I guess I'm gynosexual, so sure.
What is that If you don't mind me
attracted.
asking.
I'm attracted to women. I don't care what genitalia they have. But enough about that. So Quintavious,
So
why should I
yeah,
think Jesus was the Messiah?
he was the Messiah. Why I believe so, why the Bible says so, is he fought against degeneracy like this. Degeneracy we're seeing right now. Modern day Israel.
Jesus was a
Not only that,
degenerate. Anyways, so that's not a good reason. Lots of people fight against degeneracy. I do it every day on this app. I fight against degeneracy, the degeneracy of like stupidity. Why should I think Jesus was the long-awaited, prophesied Messiah of Israel?
It was called Judea at the time. I don't know if you know about that.
I
But at
know
the
that
time,
yes, I know that regions of Israel were called Judea and the Galilee and the Decapolis. Why should I? When asking, when I wasn't asking about a region of land, I'm referring to the people group
no,
of
just
Israel.
correcting you.
Well, you weren't correcting me
Yeah.
because Judea, the region of Judea, is a land region. I'm referring to that whether or not he was the Messiah of Israel being the people of Israel. I wasn't referring to a land region.
Yeah, understandable. So where I was giving it off of is based on, the miracles acted by him, to where the Bible doesn't really aim for, hatred or, feeling like you're better than somebody else, like books like
So
the Quran.
can you prove that
Hold up, I
Jesus?
was talking.
Can you prove Jesus
Hold up, I was.
practiced miracles?
I mean, there's disciples of his that witnessed it firsthand.
We
It's
don't
been
have
the
any of
most,
their.
argued book throughout history.
We don't have any
What's
writings
that,
from
what?
his disciple. We don't have any writings from his disciples testifying that he performed miracles.
Have you read the Bible?
Yeah. And I
It
know
says it
that
in the Bible.
and I know that of all the books of the New Testament, all 27 books, we only know the author of 7 of them, being the authentic Pauline epistles, and the Gospels are anonymous works. We don't know who wrote them.
Yeah, I mean, it's subject to, interpretation, but this prompts from people, first person, to where they're saying, hey, we seen this.
Where does the Gospel of Matthew ever claim to be an eyewitness to anything Jesus
Yeah,
ever
I got
did?
you. Yeah, I got you.
If you leave the screen, I won't be able to hear you.
Oh, let me just log into my computer then. Oh, fuck.
Furthermore, there's a problem with the Gospel of Matthew, is that we have an early church figure, Papias, who tells us that the author, that the Gospel, that a manuscript that Matthew wrote. So he's talking about, people sometimes think he's talking about the Gospel of Matthew, but he says that Matthew wrote a manuscript that was in a Hebrew dialect, and that it was a sayings gospel. We don't have that. What we have is a manuscript that was written in Koine Greek, and all of the errors that are in it stem from somebody reading the Greek Septuagint and then misunderstanding what it's talking about. So there's nothing that would ever lead us to believe that it was even originally written in another language than Koine Greek. So if you believe what the church figures tell us, then there's kind of a problem with the Gospel of Matthew.
No, why is Steam opening up? Let me exit that out.
And to be sure, all the attributations of the names were like later on, they were like centuries later that somebody finally said, yeah, these are the people who wrote it. We don't have any reason to think that Matthew wrote Matthew, or that Mark wrote Mark, or that John wrote John, or anything like that.
No, absolutely. I mean, what are your points towards leaving Christianity, Johnny B?
What? I'm sorry. What was the question?
No, I was questioning. Why did you end up leaving Christianity?
Because it's not true. I read it. It's not true. I studied it. It's not true.
Yeah, same.
You don't feel like it's true?
I read the Bible, and when I found out Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy, and the Bible contains scientific and historical errors and internal contradictions, I just couldn't believe in it.
What contradiction do you see in the Bible?
Matthew 2, Luke 2.
Yeah, the birth of Jesus. Like, for example, I guess was Jesus born during the reign of King Herod the Great?
Hold up, I'm just trying to figure out the first part of the prompt. You said Luke 2, in those days, Caesar.
Hold on, I said Matthew 2 first. Or I might have said Luke 2, but I meant to say Matthew 2 first, because you really need to read Matthew 2 first before you go to Luke 2.
After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod Magi
There you
from
go.
the east.
King Herod. And then later, and so first the question is, which Herod is this? Well, we know this is Herod the Great, because later, after Herod passes away in the book, it says that his son Archelaus was ruling in Judea in his place. Well, we know that Archelaus had his father was Herod the Great. So Herod the Great died around 4 BCE. Correct. So the problem is that the author of Luke disagrees. Luke 2 says that Jesus was born during the census of Quirinius. The census of Quirinius was in 6 CE, 10 years after Herod died. At a minimum, there's a 10-year contradiction, but scholars typically say that Jesus was born anywhere from 7 to 5, which means that there could be 12, 13-year contradiction here.
No, absolutely. I didn't even know that about the Bible. That's interesting.
It's full of errors like these, contradictions like these.
I mean, it's not a major contradiction to where it's
they are.
wait.
They can't even agree when Jesus was born.
Yeah. I mean, there's been talks about, people even celebrating Christmas. People say his birthday's in April. I was just curious over that.
Yeah.
No,
Well, it was either in spring or summer.
They can't even agree as to what day or time Jesus was crucified. It makes claims about Jesus fulfilling prophecy, but the only way it can do that is by misquoting the Old Testament. It can't agree as to who killed Goliath in the Old Testament, whether or not men was made before or after animals in the Garden of Eden. Tons of problems with the Bible, but specifically on the problem of so let's get back to the question at hand. Jesus being the Messiah is dependent upon the Gospels being true, but we don't know who wrote the Gospels. And have you found any reference in the Gospel of Matthew where it makes the claim that it's written by an eyewitness?
I'm not seeing anything right now. Well, I'm not really looking for it, to be honest. I'm just kind of gathering your viewpoints.
I'll just help you out here. There is nothing in the Gospel of Matthew that ever once says that it was written by an eyewitness who knew Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And the author of Luke tells you that he's not an eyewitness. He says he's compiling a narrative because other people were doing the same thing. He's just compiling people's testimonies.
No, absolutely. So that's kind of where you base, from being an atheist?
We have no, that's not my reason for being an atheist.
Yeah, that's not why I'm an atheist. It's just why I don't believe Jesus was the Messiah. Even if I believed in God, I would still hold this position that Jesus was not the Messiah because he did not fulfill any prophecies. In order to be the Messiah, you have to fulfill Old Testament prophecies.
Yeah, I could be Jewish and I wouldn't believe that Jesus fulfilled prophecies. I could be a deist and I wouldn't believe that the Christian God existed at all, or that Jesus was even, the Messiah. So
no, absolutely.
Specifically, the reason I'm an atheist is because I actually sat down. What it was, I was probably about maybe 15, 16. I started to get opposition from atheists. I started going online, seeing their content. They made claims that there were contradictions and errors and stuff in the book, lies in the book. I went to go prove them wrong by reading the whole thing because I started to read it myself instead of in the church. I actually started to read it myself. I came to the conclusion after a lot of research that they were right. These errors, contradictions, and lies were in the book. They're not just misinterpretations. They're there. All you have to do is actually go look for them and then study them, and you'll see that they're there, that these problems exist. That's why I'm not a Christian. The reason I'm an atheist specifically is not just because I left Christianity. It's just because I don't see any evidence for a God at all.
I mean, did you have a bad relationship with Christianity?
No, in fact, I loved it. No, in fact, I loved it. I didn't want to leave. I just had to because I didn't believe in it anymore. I was actually really sad for a long time that it wasn't true. I was sad for over a year that it just wasn't true.
I wasn't sad. I wasn't sad. I just enjoyed Christianity, but once I figured out it wasn't true, I just left.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, have you ever tried talking to a priest? I don't know.
They don't have good answers.
I'm an ex-Catholic. I'm an ex-Catholic. I talked to a priest a lot. I was an altar server.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so I see you go. I mean,
I have an actual picture. I have an actual picture of myself as a Ultra server actually. Wait, here, people on TikTok, you won't be able to. I mean, on YouTube, you won't be able to see this, but on
I'm on YouTube. Hi, YouTube.
Yeah. 1 second. How do I? Fuck it, I can't.
Oh yeah, if
pull
you
it up
think
for some reason.
185 people is a lot of people, you should see how many people are on YouTube watching this, Quan.
Let me go on YouTube.
Just 214. But
what's the
anyways, so like, if Jesus didn't fulfill prophecy, then he absolutely just cannot be the Messiah. It doesn't matter if you think if he performed miracles according to the Hebrew Bible. False prophets can perform miracles. We don't have any good reason to think he resurrected from the dead to validate his resurrection and to validate his Messiah claim. So, as a result, I just simply can't believe he's the Messiah unless you can provide me with a prophecy he did fulfill.
I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm a professional. I'm still working on my relationship with God, to where we understood each other, to where I'm coming from one side, you guys are coming from another. I do respect where you guys are coming from. I'm not gonna go ahead and ultimately call you the F slur, but I feel like your questions are valid. It's I didn't see originally. I'm not gonna say I read through the book completely, but I definitely sat in churches on Sunday. But I mean, my advice, if you guys definitely have me looking for these claims, to where I feel like it would be fair, you guys talking to priests again. I feel like you guys left the cool kids club.
Why would I do that? I generally know the Bible better than my priest did.
That is true.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't know, man. I definitely, we would love to see you back in the club. You know what I mean?
Well, I just wouldn't rejoin.
I have no choice. I cannot be a Christian. It's not a matter of choosing. I can't choose it because you don't get to choose what you believe. You're either convinced that something is true or you're not, in which case you'll either believe or you won't believe. I need to be convinced based on evidence, or else I cannot rejoin the club.
No, absolutely. No, I totally get where you guys are coming from. Let me do some research. Definitely go over your guys's, claims, and come back with you. So that sounds fair.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's fine. We'll see you around.
Hey, take it easy.
I will clarify though. I think my sadness wasn't necessarily from the fact that Christianity itself wasn't true. I think it was more that I had been taught things that weren't true from people I trusted, and that my worldview had been completely wrong, and that I didn't even know it, and that I had spent my youth believing these things that, like, I had spent my teens believing things that weren't true. I mean, granted, I was like 16, so I did not that many years of my teen, but still my teens, but still, I think that I was really sad that I had just been taught things that weren't true and spent that time believing it, I think is what it was.
Hey, Johnny, what do you call a book club that never finishes the book?
Oh, Bible study.
Yeah.
See, I know that one very well because I used to be a part of a youth group for a while.
Someone in the comments said it's a club. Yes, it's a book club. It's a fancy book club. All right. Horton Helens.
Is it really fancy though?
Yeah. Horton, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we can get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by? What was that?
I'm a male.
That is your sex, but what pronouns do you go by?
I'm a man.
That is your gender. What pronouns do you go by?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Whatever you want it to be.
I'll just give you 3 options and you pick one. Do you go by he, him, she, her, or they, them?
Just call me Horton, please.
No, one of those 3 options I just gave you.
They, them.
All right. And then question number 3, do you believe Jesus was the Messiah?
I sure do.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I do not believe Jesus was the Messiah. Horton, what information can you give us to change my mind?
There's so much evidence, all the prophecies he fulfilled, everything, really.
All right, can you name me
Name
one
one.
prophecy that Jesus fulfilled?
The ones in Isaiah and Daniel.
Where in Isaiah?
53.
Isaiah 53 is not about the Messiah. It's about the nation of Israel.
Daniel 9. Daniel 9. Thank you very much. And please call me they, them. You said he.
I would. I didn't say he.
You did refer to me as a man.
Nope, because I haven't spoken about you to anyone else. I've only talked to you.
Well,
Yeah, he didn't call you he at all.
Please
Been
be
listening to him this whole
respectful.
time.
Please be respectful.
He's being respectful to you, very.
Weirdness
Just
aside.
be respectful, please.
Yeah, weirdness aside, all the grandstanding. So Daniel chapter 9 can't be about Jesus either.
Oh, it is.
All right. So Daniel chapter 9 gives us 70 weeks of 7. By the way, if you leave the screen, no one can hear you. Which is 490 years. Do you know when the book of Daniel says that calculation begins? When you start counting the 490 years? Again, when you are not in the app, we cannot hear you. Horton, I'm going to need you to return, or else I'll have to drop you and move on.
Horton must have heard of who and had to go and see them.
Yeah. Oh, he left. Yeah, that person wasn't here for a serious conversation. All right.
He may not have been all there at all.
Nurse Squirtle. Hi. Hi. I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we can get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
I'm over 18. I am a she, her, and yes, I believe that Jesus is the Messiah.
All right. Oh, fantastic. Out of the park. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I do not think Jesus was the Messiah. Nurse Squirtle, can you give us a good reason to think that he is?
Yes. So I wanted to bring up one point. I was on here earlier and I was listening to your argument about Isaiah that I have to look into. I'm part of the Bible club that, hasn't finished the whole book. So I have a lot of work to do. But I wanted to bring up one point and afterwards also ask you a question. So the point that I wanted to bring up, something I saw off TikTok was, so you know about the genealogy, Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, yada, yada, right?
Are you about to make the claim that the names are a secret code for about Jesus?
Not that, I guess you could say that they're a secret code. But I didn't believe it, but then when I looked.
They make a sentence?
sorry?
When you translate them, they make a sentence? Is that the claim?
Yes.
It's not true.
So you know about it.
Yeah, it's not true.
That when you translate it, they make a sentence?
Yeah, it's not true. This claim comes to us from a Christian pastor. What was his name? Fuck, I can't remember his name. Anyways, he was a Christian pastor who did not speak Hebrew. Yeah, it was a Christian pastor who could not speak Hebrew. A lot of the names that he makes claim, like for example, he'll say that the name Enoch means teaching, right? But it doesn't.
Mortal.
No. Kenan means mortal. Adam would be man. Seth means appointed. Kenan means mortal. And then it goes on. But the word Enoch, they make the claim means teaching. Like teaching that his death shall bring the despairing rest. But Enoch doesn't mean teaching. It comes from, it's in Hebrew, Enoch is Chanok, and it means to dedicate. In fact, it's the same root as what we say for Hanukkah or Chanukah, the feast of dedication. So Enoch doesn't mean teaching. Dr. Dan McClellan, who's a Bible scholar on this a Bible scholar, he actually has a video discussing Genesis chapter 5, and most of the names in that genealogy are either mistranslated or they are names that we don't actually know its root meaning, and so it doesn't make a sentence.
I see. I'll look further into that because when I heard about this, I Googled searched them myself. and I wrote them out. I wrote them out in my language as well. And when I did that, it did form a sentence, and I thought it was pretty crazy. And I also I just found actually my journal, but when I plugged it into ChatGPT, it also made the same sentence. So
here, real quick, I'm just gonna play this real quick. Let's see. Play.
Did you know that there are hidden messages all throughout the Bible? When I found this one, my mind was blown.
All right, let's see it.
It's found in Genesis chapter 5. This chapter covers the generations from Adam to Noah.
It would be more accurate to state that this chapter mentions the genealogies from Adam to Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the 3 sons of Noah who are mentioned in the very last verse.
Now here's what we need to understand. The Old Testament was written in Hebrew, so these names that are listed, these names have Hebrew meanings attached to them. So let's look at what the names mean. First we have Adam, which means man.
Well, it can mean man, human, or humanity.
Then we have Seth, that means appointed.
So this is the King James Version's translation of the folk etymology from the end of Genesis 4. And scholars are not so sure that that folk etymology is where this name actually comes from. But even if it is, appointed here is just one way to translate this word that comes from a verbal root that means to put, to place, or to set. And so it could also be translated to give, to substitute, to replace. There are a bunch of different ways to understand this. Appointed is only one of them that comes from the King James Version and from the descendants of that translation. And additionally, this is an active verb in the King James Version, and that's going to be important when this video tries to put this all together and interpret what it all means.
We have Enosh, which means mortal.
So Enosh just means human being. It's a synonym for Adam. Mortal is one way that you can interpret it, particularly when it's being contrasted with deity, but the name itself doesn't fundamentally refer to mortality.
Canaan, which means sorrow.
So this is drastically oversimplified. Canaan does not mean sorrow. It may derive from a root that means to sing a funeral dirge or to lament, and it probably has a diminutive ending added onto it, but it could also come from the name Cain. It could come from the people, the Kenites, and could have reference to metalworking, smithing, or it could be the name of a deity. We don't really know for sure, but definitely not sorrow.
Mahalel, which means the blessed God.
Also not quite there. This could mean praise of God. It could mean God is shining or something like that. But the blessed God is a little manipulative.
Jared, which means shall come down.
So the name Jared most likely does come from the verbal root yarad, which means to descend. However, shall come down is partially conjugating the verb rather arbitrarily and in an unwarranted way. We would expect for there to be a subject there, usually a divine name, a theophoric element, as part of the name in order to conjugate it this way. We don't have any such theophoric element. It could have originally had one, but it doesn't necessarily have to have had a subject. And so we should probably understand Jared to just refer to the concept of descent or descending without trying to conjugate the verb in a way that is clearly intended to anticipate being incorporated into a larger sentence.
Next is Enoch, which means teaching.
Enoch doesn't mean teaching. It probably comes from a word that means dedicated or follower or something like that.
Then it's Methuselah, which means his death shall bring.
So Methuselah is incorporating 2 verbal roots, one that means to die and the other that actually means to cast, to throw, or to send. It does not mean to bring. That's the opposite of what this means, and that's a very arbitrary attempt to try to reread this name in order to make it anticipate and fit into this larger semantic whole.
Lamech, which means despairing.
So scholars aren't exactly sure where the name Lamech comes from or what it means, but when scholars rattle off the etymologies that are most commonly proposed, despairing is not on that list.
And finally we have Noah, which means comfort or rest.
It most likely just means rest.
When we take these names and we line them up with their Hebrew meaning, it's going to spell out a special message to us. Here it is. Man appointed mortal sorrow. The blessed God shall come down teaching. His death shall bring despairing comfort, and rest. Put it all together. Man is appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessed God shall come down teaching. His death shall bring the despairing comfort and rest. Now, does that message sound familiar to you? This is the gospel message.
So I'm going to start here by pointing out that this all comes from Chuck Missler, who was not a biblical scholar and who most of the time didn't have the first clue what he was talking about. But in addition to the fact that many of these names are just wrong, and we don't even know what some of these names mean, the interpretations that are presented here are entirely arbitrary and presuppose this broader semantic framework that Missler wants to arrive at. And so, starting at the beginning,
Dalton, you're muted.
Oh, I think you get the point. If anyone wants to watch the rest of the video, it's called "Does Genesis 5 Have a Hidden Christian Message?" But basically, the answer to that is no, it does not.
So it was interesting because the sentence that the original speaker was saying was had some words added to it, it seems. But when I did the research, it aligned more with what the secondary speaker was saying. And I also actually just did a basic Google search, and I looked up all the other meanings of each of the word, just basic Google search. And it does still make a sentence where it says, and this goes along with the second speaker in the video, that man appointed.
When you say you Googled, what exactly do you mean?
Google.com. I typed in the meaning of Enosh.
You saw the AI overview at the top?
I mean, this was a little bit ago. I'm not sure if it was the AI overview.
Because generally what happens is people Google something and then they see the very first thing at the top. And often what's happening with the AI overview is it is pulling from all sorts of sources, including, in this case, if you're looking for a hidden message in Genesis 5, it's going to be pulling from Christian websites that are going to be confirming this belief.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what it says would be man to appoint, man, dirge, the shining God, dedicate, dedicate,
to descend.
Dedicates to descend.
Descent.
Unknown word.
Enoch
rest.
is dedicate.
Yeah.
Methuselah can
his death
mean
sends.
man of the dart.
Shalach, his death sends.
Oh,
and
interesting.
then unknown word, and then rest, which isn't descendants.
Yeah, it's not
and also it doesn't end with Noah, because it also lists 3 other people in the genealogy: Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
After Lamech?
No, after Noah.
Doesn't it?
After Noah, it mentions his 3 sons:
right.
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Oh, I actually didn't even get that far. I just got up to Noah, and I just did this, and I just found it really, I thought it was really cool because it doesn't make a coherent sentence, right? It says man, appoint, mortal man / human being / public worship. Also, it said invocation of the Lord means Enosh, and then Canaan means to acquire, to possess. Mahalalel, to praise God, to praise, to bless. Jared, descend, to descend. Enoch, to dedicate, trained, disciplined. Methuselah, you said in Hebrew, is his death shall send. When I was writing down the other definitions, his death shall bring. Also, man of the dart. Lamech means strong man, powerful.
Yeah, because the last bit there, Methu-shalach, it's the word for shaliach, send, to send.
Very interesting.
So it doesn't really make
even so,
it doesn't make a sentence. It's just a string of words.
I mean, I would argue that it does make a sentence because it says there's a noun, a man. He was appointed as a mortal man, acquire, possess. I mean, I have to go back. I did do a basic Google search, and I wasn't looking for if it aligns with Christianity or God, because I try to find just what it says, if it's true. I'm not trying to make it
This
so that I
I
believe in.
I
Sorry, what were you saying?
I think the phrase that we're looking for here is apophenia. That this is just human beings are amazing at finding patterns in objects, even when there are no actual patterns. It's because we're evolutionarily hardwired to see patterns. It's why, for example, we can look at the clouds and see bunnies and stuff like that, because, or you might see the front of a car and see a face, not because there really is a face there, but because you're just so hardwired to find patterns. And so people do it. They find patterns, and this is just an example of that.
I would say definitely, like, we're hardwired to see patterns based on what we're exposed to and etc. However, we could also, based on what you just said, we could also take the words following Noah as well as the genealogies in Matthew and do the same thing. We could look up the words and see if they form some sort of sentence. I just found this absolutely insane.
But the genealogy in Matthew is wrong. It skips a generation at one. It skips a generation at one point. Skips right over somebody in the genealogy. And also, you really don't want Matthew's genealogy to be true because of Jeconiah. Matthew's genealogy mentions that one of Jesus' ancestors is Jeconiah, but according to the prophet Jeremiah, Jeconiah's lineage is cursed so that none of his progeny can ever serve as king in Israel.
And Luke's is wrong too, because the Messiah has to come to the lineage of Solomon, because according to 1 Chronicles 23, 9-10, Solomon's lineage is going to rule forever, which means that Luke's genealogy, when it traces Jesus through Nathan, that's a problem, because that's not Solomon, that's Nathan.
I'm actually not familiar. I just knew that, Jesus's dad was Joseph, who came from the line of David. This is an adopted son, technically. So I'll definitely look into that.
Which is another problem, because
it also mentions that Joseph has two different dads, depending on which gospel you're reading.
Yeah, Heli and Jacob.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Gospel of Matthew, when we look at the Gospel of Matthew, here, I'll pull it up right now on the screen so that you can see Matthew 1. Box. Here we go. Matthew chapter 1. We look at Matthew chapter 1. That's not Matthew 1. Matthew 1. We go down the genealogy to the part where we get to Joseph. We get, and Jacob was the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, who bore Jesus. So Joseph's father is Jacob. Now, when we go to the Gospel of Luke and we read Luke's genealogy, Luke chapter 2, starting from verse, I believe, 32 or 23. It's one of those two. 23 probably. Yeah, let's see. Nope, it's 32. Oh, 3. No wonder. Wrong chapter. No wonder I was wrong. There we go. Chapter 3. Verse 23. Jesus was about 30 years old when he began his work. He was the son, as was thought, of Joseph, son of Heli.
Interesting.
And the whole adoption thing doesn't work either, because adoption into a tribe does not include kingship. It allows for certain privileges, but not kingship. There's never an example of that. And so, like, Jesus really couldn't be the Messiah either if he's just adopted into Joseph's lineage. That's not how that works. And
think of it like, imagine you as a Gentile. Imagine as a baby you were adopted by a Jewish person who's from the tribe of Levi, who's a descendant of Aaron. That person has a right to be a Cohen, a priest. But just because you're adopted by them doesn't give you priestly privileges, because you have to be a physical descendant of Levi through Aaron. You can adopt their property. You can even take their last name, but you cannot inherit those tribal privileges. And the same would be true for Jesus. If he's adopted by someone who's a descendant of David and thus a king of Israel, he can adopt Joseph's household, like his physical property. He can even be called by his name, but he cannot adopt the throne of Israel.
You cannot adopt the privileges associated with kingship. But I believe that the prophecy is that he will come from the line of David. I do have to go. I really enjoy your stream. But before I go, I just wanted to ask you a question. You said that you said you were a Catholic, you enjoyed your Catholic faith.
Loved it. Loved going to Mass. Loved participating in the Eucharist. I went to Mass probably like 3 or 4 times a week.
What did you like about it?
At the time, I thought I was a participant in a long tradition that went back to Jesus. And obviously, as a Catholic at the time, I believe that I was consuming the Jesus through the Eucharist. So I thought I felt a close intimacy with God as a result.
I see. And after that, you became an atheist because
I found that the Bible isn't true.
I see. Okay. Well, I do have to go, but it was really nice talking to you guys. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna take this hoodie off now. I just wanted to wear it for the video because me and Daniel
Data, not
twinsing.
dogma.
Yeah. 1 second. And we'll get back to I'll get back to showing you guys more of these cool books.
Hell yeah. Love books. No, big W for the guest, though, everyone. Everyone in the comments, big W for the guest, because she was honest, she listened to us, and when she realized she wasn't right, she said she will go look into it. That's the right approach.
At the beginning of this live, I said, God, could we please just get a few good guests? And we actually did get a few good guests today, so I'm happy about that. All right, so next book on the list. I got here what's called, this is actually this one's a Messianic Jewish Bible. This one's from the Hebrew Roots Movement, and this is called The Scriptures. That's what it's called, The Scriptures. One of the features of this Bible is that the divine name is not rendered into English. So every time you come across Yahweh in the text, it stays in the original Hebrew.
Oh, yay, I'm glad.
Yeah. It is a weird translation though. For some reason they have problems with words like they don't like to translate the word faith as faith. They'll translate it as trust. They'll translate, instead of saying baptize, they'll say immerse. They try to avoid any language that sounds too Christian. They unequivocally translate God as Elohim every time. In English, they say Elohim. Even in instances where in the original Hebrew, it might say Eloheinu or just El, they'll still put it as Elohim. Who up getting immersed? Jesus did. Obviously, they also rendered Jesus's name as in Hebrew as well, not as Yeshua, but the long form Yehoshua. So that's this is from this is a Bible. It's very popular in the Hebrew Roots Movement, created by the Institute of Scriptural Research. I don't believe they are actually probably not a serious. This looks more like a go to a Bible that exists and just replace the words with other words sort of situation going on here. Actually, I wonder how they translate Isaiah 7:14. Out of curiosity.
Ooh, interesting.
It's been so long since I've actually opened up this book.
It's just been sitting in a box.
Yeah. Therefore, Yahweh himself gives you a sign. Look, the Alma conceives and gives birth to a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So they just render it as Alma, so it's ambiguous. And then it says conceives, which is, I guess, it's present tense. So it doesn't say will conceive, but it makes it sound like it's an ongoing process. She has conceived.
Yeah.
The young woman has conceived. It would be better.
Hara is an adjective, which means to be pregnant. It would be better if it said, like, is pregnant. Would be a better rendition, I guess, of the word.
This is another example of a Bible that is covered in tape, because I used the hell out of this Bible when I was younger. This is what's called the Complete Jewish Bible, translated by David H. Stern, and that's going to be your first indication that something is going on here, because what's better for a Bible translation is if the translation is created by committee, as in you have lots of different people from different backgrounds fact checking each other, checks and balances. But when you have Bible translations that are created by one singular individual, you are more likely to get biases that skim into the text. And this is a classic example of that. This character here, David H. Stern, does everything he possibly can to make Paul seem pro Torah observance. And this isn't really so much a translation as it is a paraphrase. So that means like whole sentences where singular words would have occurred in order to explain the text from their perspective. They started off by creating what's called the Jewish New Testament commentary, and then they decided to create a New Testament based on that, and then they took the JPS and then edited it to create a complete Jewish Bible. But again, it's not really a Jewish Bible. It is a Christian Bible dressed up as a Jewish Bible in order to sort of deceive Jewish people into thinking that this book is authentically Jewish.
Velvet Worm says you should do a YouTube video about that Bible, but I'm actually going to add on to this. I think you should do a YouTube video about all of those Bibles, what's wrong with them, and why you don't recommend them.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And then there's one last book, and this one's really interesting. This one is called The Chronological Gospels, The Life and 70-Week Ministry of the Messiah. And this is another probably popular book in the Hebrew Roots movement. It's actually a higher quality, to be honest. At least the book, the paper, you can kind of hear it. It's a plasticky kind of paper, so not regular paper, so higher quality. But the content is dog shit. And and basically this was created by Michael Rood. Michael Rood is one prominent leader in the Hebrew Roots movement. I'll show you a picture of him. Michael Rood. Here we go. This is Michael Rood. Michael Rood, leader of a Rude Awakening. Yeah. So he has a show called A Rude Awakening, and he's very much against like Christmas and Easter because he thinks they're pagan in origin. And I know that's not only popular amongst Hebrew Roots people, but it's also popular among atheists. A lot of that's really overblown. Like he'll say things like, "Oh, Easter, that comes from the name of a goddess." It doesn't. Or that December 25th was the birthday of like sun god. It wasn't originally. Stuff like that. A lot of misinformation. He also makes the claim that Christmas trees are in the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah, that speaks against Christmas trees. It doesn't. That's a whole nother thing altogether. But he attempted to take the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then harmonize them. He's not the first person to do this. There have been Christians since like the Church Fathers who have attempted to take the Gospels and bring them together to create one cohesive text. He does it in a very interesting way in that while most Christians believe Jesus' ministry lasted for 3.5 years because of the Gospel of John features 3 different Passovers, he makes a claim that Jesus' ministry only lasted for about 1.5 years, 70 weeks. And he thinks, with no good evidence, that John 6:4, which is the second occurrence of the Passover in John, is a forgery. What evidence does he have for this? None. Anyways, and so he gets rid of it. And by the way, the translation here isn't a translation. It is the King James Version with corrections made to it, which is why it is called the CKJV, the corrected King James Version.
Oh no.
Yeah. He has to twist himself into a bunch of knots just to try to make this to work, but it's very typical in that way.
Also, Council wants to know, Dalton, what's the most you've ever spent on a Bible?
Most I've ever spent on a Bible. My Catholic days, I bought some Bibles which were quite expensive. A little bit over $100. At the time, I have I gotta clean my room after this. Different Bibles. This is different parts of the Bible. For example, this bit right here is just the Pentateuch, 5 books of Moses. This is just the Gospels, and this is just the rest of the New Testament. And then I'm sure this publisher has actually come out with more additions to the Bible since. Obviously, I'm not part of Catholicism anymore, so I haven't bought them. But these are from a Catholic ministry called Word on Fire, which is a Catholic ministry headed by Bishop God, what is his name? He talked to it's the bishop that talked to Alex O'Connor.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
Robert Barron, Bishop Robert Barron. Anyways, what made these so expensive? I'll bring up the gospel, for example. First off, comes in its own casing. But what made it so expensive was the material. First and foremost, real genuine leather. Really nice. I love books, guys. And this is like a really nice book. Even though I don't believe in the content, I think it's still a really nice work of art. And that was kind of the big deal for Bishop Barron, is he wanted to try to evangelize using art. Good for him, because most Christian art is horrendous. But it's got gold in the front. The Word on Fire Bible. The paper is that sort of plastic sort of paper, and it's got quotes from church fathers and later church thinkers, and also bits on Christian art throughout the centuries and why the artists painted what they did and the meaning that they were trying to convey through their art. It's actually really interesting. It's where I learned about Caravaggio and his art, and why Baroque art is my favorite period of art history. I just like the way it uses shadows and whatnot. But anyways, those were the most expensive Bibles I've ever purchased, probably.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Ashley says, I wish I was a person that liked books. You can be, but I get it. Like, reading is the hard part. Audiobooks, though. Come on, guys. I love Baroque, but abstract expressionism is my favorite. Hey, that's cool too. I just like its usage of shadows and that realism, especially Caravaggio's work. His painting of the calling of Matthew, really good. All right.
At Zach Ketchenoff with the $5. Paul used the Shroud of Turin to wipe his eyes after getting baptized in the holy spurting fluid for when Jesus came on him on the road. Sorry.
I love you had to end it with sorry. The holy that's what he keeps on those on his next to his bedstand. Instead of a sock, he's just got the Shroud of Turin. And then
at the People's Warrior with the $10. Mezzo, Deconstruction Zone, and Dalton the Bible Guy all on my birthday. Hooray. Hey.
Happy birthday to the People's Warrior. Everyone wish the People's Warrior a happy birthday today. Good to hear.
Happy birthday, Warrior.
Yeah.
And then at Zach Ketchenoff again with the $5. That caller has his wives locked in a shed somewhere, and he's leaving to toss some Lucky Charms without the marshmallows out them to keep him alive.
Listen,
without the marshmallows.
Under normal circumstances, I don't care if someone has multiple wives, but when it's in a culty sort of situation, like if it was just like a polyamorous couple, good for y'all. I'm too jealous to ever do that. But for people who make it work, more loving for you guys. But like when it comes to like people in the Hebrew Roots movement or religious institutions that have multiple wives, there's always going to be a sort of power dynamic and power imbalance there, and it's never pretty. It's never good. I don't agree with that whatsoever.
That did kind of worry me a little bit when he said wives. I was like, oh, because like normally, yeah, like that's not a problem, but like when it's like in a cult type thing, that's kind of like, oh, that's not good.
Did you see his profile picture?
I did not see his profile picture.
It was him and then his 3 wives.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
I'll say this: he's living biblically, but living biblically ain't good. especially if you're a
I
woman.
saw it, but it was small on my screen, so I didn't actually get a good look at it.
He was too quick to bring that up too. He was. He tried to be very casual about it, trying to casualize religious.
He said, "Me and my
polyamory.
wives," and Rob's like,
Yeah.
"Your wives?" And he's like, "Yeah."
The comment section was wild. People were like, "Hey, slow down! What?"
Also, what's their name? Crunchy Trilobite wants to know if you're gonna do a video on the Catholic Justin AI thing.
Yes, on Easter Sunday, we are going to be debating the resurrection with the Catholic AI from Catholic Answers.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then just a reminder for everyone, while we normally are not live on Mondays and then live on Tuesdays, because I go live Saturdays, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. That week we will be live Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then off Tuesday and Wednesday. And the reason for that is not for any professional reasons, but because I just want 2 days to play the update to Starfield. That's why. Colette says, "I want s'mores now." All that marshmallow talk? Yeah, I know. For sure. I'm sure Easter Sunday is going to be like so good for like atheist content. So many people are going to be up doing debates.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like we're not getting any more guests in to debate. Looks like it looks like Blitz just added a post. What is this?
I hope he's doing well.
Yeah. Well, he just
did this one show.
I didn't ask you about that. He did, from what I heard, he did just get out of surgery, and his doctors said that everything was looking good. So
good.
There's that. Mama
I'm glad.
Bash, hi. In the comment section, we send people to your videos sometimes, to your lives. It's so good to see you in the comment section.
Yeah. Hello, Mama Bash.
Oh, I didn't. I forgot. I got some. I got a donation on Cash App, so I'll do a quick call up to John. I won't say your last name because I don't want to, dox you. But John, with the $5, for one uncle named Sam, US. I don't know what that's a reference to, but thank you for the $5. Much appreciated. And also, what time do you go live? Mama Bash, I usually go live around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturdays, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So that's when I usually do go live. And in fact, we are about to wrap up the show, I think. Now, a quick reminder to everyone that I hate having to say it because I hate sounding like I'm like begging or anything like that. But this is how this is my job now. All the super chats and all the donations are very much appreciated. I do now have a Patreon. So if you want to donate to the Bible Guy show, help get me out of this house and into an apartment so that we get better internet, and which means longer days for going live. We'll be going live earlier in the day and going on for much longer at that point, and these internet situation will be much better. That'll be much appreciated. And it gives me more time to do more things on the channel. Like, for example, I'm going to try and figure out a way to do video streaming of Bible video games on the lives. I may or may not eventually get around to doing Dante's Inferno. That one's difficult to do because there's a lot of explicit nudity in those games, and I don't know whether or not I could get away with playing those on live and not get demonetized. Maybe maybe for Dante's Inferno, I might have to, instead of playing it live with you guys, I might just have to pre-record me playing it and then do some editing to get rid of the nips. OnlyFans Dalton Incorporated. That's funny. I played that when I was like 12. Yeah.
Speaking of video games, have you played any of the Resident Evil games?
No, I don't like horror games. I'm too much. I'm too much of a wimp. I I get a lot of anxiety.
I do
Even
too.
playing Starfield, there are some missions where I am I get terrified when there's like sometimes I'll be flying through space and I'll come across a derelict ship and I go inside and it's like the red lights and you hear creepy music playing and you know that there's something in the ship that's killed everyone and you're like, fuck, I don't know if I can do this. I'm a bit of a wimp in that way. What was I gonna say? But we definitely will be playing live stream the Jesus Simulator game, and then I'm really interested in this other Bible game that's coming out called. Have you heard of this thing, Gate Zero?
I have not. What's that about?
I'll show you. Let's see. This is one I'm really interested in playing with you guys. So Gate Zero. And it's like a step through Gate Zero, time travel to explore ancient Israel circa 30 AD in the story-rich action adventure that sends players on a journey through the here, let me look at the Steam page. Journey through the biblical times like never before. Complete missions, evade capture, and unravel riddles that reveal profound truths. It's probably a little bit preachy, but hey, look at this. If the graphics actually look like this in game, I'm really big on graphics. It might be interesting, like a little Christian Assassin's Creed sort of thing. Looks like we do have one guest.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
So maybe I'll take one last guess before the end of the live. Council. All right, Council. I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3: do you believe Jesus was the Messiah?
No.
Oh, okay. What brings you? Oh, okay, what brings you up, Council?
I was just going to ask a quick question, see if you had read the book Helping Jesus Fulfill Prophecy.
No, I haven't. Who is it by and what's it about?
So it is by, let me get it pulled up here. Let's see. Robert J. Miller, and it was a book that I actually got from Justin's live stream with Thinker. It was a book that she had read that was part of her deconstruction, and the really cool part about it is the part about the Qumran community and the Dead Sea Scrolls and how they were interpreting scripture and kind of altering it in some places, or not kind of, but altering it in places. Just because I've always wondered, like, the Peshers. I've always wondered, like, how could Paul totally fuck up the Old Testament so much and people were just kind of cool with it? You know, like, I just felt like, I didn't feel like, everybody was so stupid that they just didn't know. And so now that I understand that this was kind of like a practice that had started about 100 years before, that it was like totally in line for them to take Hosea and try to say that the son is Jesus, even though we know it's so that was really cool. But the question I had for you.
Oh yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to read the description for the book, but I'll do that after your question.
Yeah. I haven't gotten through it yet. I'm only about 30%, but that part like really opened my eyes to like how the religion took off like it did. But the question I had was, you in your last live stream or live stream before, you were talking about in John where it says the word was God, and because there's no intensifier there, that it's probably more accurately divine instead of God. And I started kind of looking around to see where else that word was used without the intensifier. And so I was wanting to see, do you have any good sources that I could lean on to show?
It's used that way elsewhere in the gospel. It's used that way elsewhere in the Gospel of John, where Jesus is with the Pharisees, and they say, "You being human." And the problem is with the way Christian Bibles translate it. They'll say, "Though you are a human, you make yourself out to be God," capital G. But in reality, both the terms anthropos and theos here are being used to describe the nature, like you being humankind or making yourself out to be like God kind or divine. And then Jesus goes on to say that it's not a problem for me to identify as theos when the scriptures identify you as theos. And then he quotes Psalm 82. So that's another example in that same literature exactly where the author is also using theos qualitatively as opposed to like indicative of like identity.
Gotcha. And then the problem that I ran into when I was looking at it was like it also still uses that word without the intensifier to refer to the actual God, like to God Almighty. I can't remember. I wish I would have written down which verses it does that, but that was just the problem that I ran into because that's a common rebuttal that I get from Christians when talking to them about, especially about
What
whether or not Jesus was God or claimed to be God.
what's really interesting is book again for everyone here. There's another book I have here called this is actually a Christian work, Greek Grammar Beyond the Basics by Daniel Wallace. And there's actually a section where Wallace covers John 1:1, and even he says that, like the meaning of theos here is more indicative of like the quality of the thing, that it is divine. Then he engages in apologetics to say this is still meaning the Trinity because Wallace believes that the term theos, that Yahweh exhausts the category of theos, and therefore if Jesus is theos, it has to be Yahweh because nothing else is theos. So that's just his like Christian presuppositionalism appearing in there. But if you read the first section of John 1:1 that he covers, he goes into how theos is being used here, and it's actually quite accurate.
I've never
Gotcha.
read the book, but I've learned, I've heard parts of it. There was actually a Christian who tried to claim that Luke 2 says this, it's the before senses of Quirinius because the word prote could mean before, and he cited Daniel B. Wallace, but Daniel B. Wallace disagrees with him. Daniel B. Wallace says that it's not read that way, and something about the grammar means that it's not, it's first, it's not before, something about the grammar. He didn't
I'll have to look.
respond to me after that.
I'll find that now and go look at it myself. That'd be interesting to see. It probably won't be hard. He has a lot of these parts laid out and Bible verses
I
and
think it
stuff
was
like that.
37, page 37 or 38, I think it was.
Oh, I'll have to go look at that later.
Right.
Does that help, counsel?
Yeah, man, I really appreciate you. Like I said, that book, Helping Jesus Fulfill Prophecy, so far, like I said, I'm only about 30%. It was amazing. You and Justin are like the most incredible Bible team that I've found on the internet. Man, you guys are awesome.
I appreciate that. And if you appreciate me and Justin's work, make sure you follow Johnny B. He's right below you. He does a similar work that we do.
Thank you.
I sure did.
Real quick,
Merely
let's take a look
carrying the torch. Merely carrying the torch for people greater than I am.
Same here, bud. Same here. Okay, let's take a look. Helping Jesus fulfill prophecy. It's obvious that Jesus fulfilled prophecies about the promised Messiah, or so the Gospels make it seem. But the real story is more complex and more compelling. In hindsight, we can see that Jesus had help fulfilling prophecy. The Gospel writers skillfully manipulated prophecies, carefully lifting them out of context, creatively reinterpreting them, even rewriting them to match what Jesus would do in the fulfilling them. Yeah, I mean, I might have to give this a read. It looks like a really good book for sure. Yeah. All right. But hey, Council, thank you for coming up.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right. AZ Mike 225. I'm sorry, but this is the end of the show, and I am tired and I need to eat and spend time with my family who are here now. But we will be live again Thursday around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're wanting to call in, make sure that you do so on that day. Let's see. And let's see who's live right now that I can send you guys over to go raid. Who can I send you over to go bother? Let's see. Let's see who's live right now. I can send. The only person I see that I on I don't see anyone on TikTok. There might not be anyone live right now. It might be so late. You know what? It looks like there's no one I'm really all that interested in sending you guys over to. So, later tonight, because she goes live most nights, if you see her, go over to Born Again Atheist, tell her that the Bible guy sent you. It'll be delayed, but you know, it is what it is. Do we have any super chats? We do not. All right, just checking to make sure. Okay, fantastic. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for all the likes and all the super chats and all the shares and all the good stuff and all the engagement. We very much appreciate it here at the Bible Guys Show. And make sure you have you open already that you clean your room, Dalton. Will do. Sork is live? Okay. He is? I didn't see that. Okay, then go check out Sork. S-O-R-C, Sork. And tell him the Bible guy sent you right now on TikTok. Some more news is live on YouTube. Okay, then also them. Dealer's choice, y'all. Just wherever you go, just tell them that we sent you. Anyways, represent and behave yourself out there and represent us well. Okay, and with that, I've been the Bible guy. Remember to keep reading, keep learning, and we'll see you all again on Thursday. Bye.
Have a good night, Dalton. I'll see you later.
Born from dust and questioning fire, wielding truth like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame. He tears through myth, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the stars align. Knowledge and thunder intertwine. Reason ascends where blind faith fell. He reads the word and he reads it well. The Bible guide, seeker of the light. Through time and fire he writes the night. With reason's blade and wisdom's cry. The world shall hear the Bible guide. Scrolls of ages, words aflame. He dares to question every name. From Eden's dawn to Calvary's sky.